rain at times during the afternoon. A bit of a breeze out of the east and the high dialed back to 74. Sunday, chance for a bit of rain or drizzle in the morning. Otherwise, cloudy skies. Cooler, the high of 72 on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
All right, it's 72 and sunny right now in Hartford. And the hits keep coming on Wall Street this afternoon. The Dow's down 614 points.
Woo!
The NASDAQ is down 533, and the S&P's off
America.
11. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. It's 3:06. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hey, it's Tom Shattuck. Mike, who lost 40 pounds with Awaken 180, was in the same position I was in. You're most likely in. Confused.
I spent so much money on personal trainers in the last 10 years. Didn't have a lot of discretionary income left. So I tried to listen to everybody else. What do you eat? You know, everyone said, eat healthy. Define eating healthy. Cut out sugar. Tell me what foods don't have sugar. So their process to me was an education. That was really the eye-opening thing to me is I had 10 choices of food in front of me every day. You know, when I was on the run and sales, I was making 8 bad choices. I wasn't eating the 2 good ones. And I loved the 2 good ones. I just didn't know they were good. So I made bad choices every single day. In the program, an Awaken 180, really changed my mind, opened my eyes up to, it was a true education on food, what to eat, what not to eat, and it's been fantastic.
Knowing what to eat. The ability to navigate nutrition labels. A proven, clear path for weight loss. And exactly what you will receive with Awaken 180. Leave confusion at the...
Oh, there we go.
We did.
Thanks,
Awaken180weightloss.com.
Hi, I'm a black actor. I had to learn to play these slave parts. And now you can too, at Hollywood's first black acting school. It teaches you everything. Learn Jive Talk 101. You too can learn to walk black. Yes, yes, yes. You too can be a black street hood. But this class is for dark-skinned blacks only. Light-skinned or yellow blacks don't make good crooks. Don't try to be cool. Call Hollywood's first black acting school.
That's where Kamala Harris goes. America's first black acting school. It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. That is from the Robert Townsend film called Hollywood Shuffle back in 1987. One of my favorite low-budget films of all time. And black acting school is still, every time I hear one of these politicians put on the black scent, I run for that movie. I run for that clip because that's what it is. This ridiculous thing that Kamala Harris doesn't have to do. She's black already, isn't she? You don't have to put on any airs. She's naturally black. Just be. But I don't know why, but for some reason she has to do it. I mean, we've heard Kamala Harris speak. Here's Kamala Harris speaking like Kamala Harris. Listen to yourself.
Thank unions. Thank unions for paid family leave. Thank unions for your vacation time.
Yeah. But now we'll secretly switch Kamala Harris's Kool-Aid with grape drink. Let's see what she sounds like now.
You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time.
All we added was the grape drink, and all of a sudden she's speaking like a black woman, or at least a stereotypically black woman. This is embarrassing, and it should be embarrassing. What is the need for that? And I'm listening to everyone online, predominantly black folks, but I'm listening to them online, and they are outraged. This story, look, I tell this all the time, so if I'm repeating myself, just indulge me. I grew up having to eat collard greens at my grandmother's home every holiday season. No matter what the event, if we went there for the holidays, collard greens were on the menu. And my grandmother, as crazy as this was, would put molasses in the collard greens. I don't know what collard greens you drink or you eat, folks. I just know that my grandmother put molasses in the collard greens. Okay? She said that this was to make the collard greens sweeter so that the kids would eat them. I hated these collard greens. Regular collard greens, too. In fact, I refuse to eat anything collard. Ever. And I don't eat the Caucasian version of collard greens either. I'm sorry, you might be familiar with them. You might be familiar with the term kale, which is just, regular collard greens. The same thing. Kale, collard greens, same thing. I eat none of those things. But to see Kamala Harris having a conversation with someone talking about how she was commissioned to make collard greens, that they were all excited for Kamala Harris to make collard greens, that they wanted her to make so many that she put the collard greens to wash them in a dirty-ass bathtub. I don't know about you, but that is disgusting. And I'm reading black folks online, you might know them as Black Twitter, they are online going, who does that? Who does that nastiness? And where did she read that? Was that in a Tyler Perry TV show, a movie? Where did she get that from? Collard greens in the bathtub? I thought that the last place you want to put any food is in the bathroom. But apparently Kamala Harris says that that's what black folks do. Sorry, Kamala, did not get that memo. But back to the original thing. What is with the accent, or the black scent, as my wife has been calling it today? What's with it? Why? When you were asked by Dana Bash about you becoming black all of a sudden, you had no comment. But on the campaign trail, you're doing this? This accent is what you do?
You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time.
You better thank. Where did this come from? This is, I'm a little embarrassed by this for her. It isn't even necessary. I mean, maybe this is a leftist thing. Perhaps I don't understand this. Maybe there's a black person out there that can explain this to me. If you could help your fellow traveler, this black man, understand why it's necessary to sound like this in Detroit. Again, when she was sounding like this, her regular voice, this was Pittsburgh.
Thank unions for paid family leave.
And then goes to Detroit and miraculously turns into her alter ego, Sister Girl. Why? Don't know.
You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better.
This element, I thought that the most embarrassing thing I ever heard, or read, I should say read, because I didn't hear her say it. I read it. And it's a real quote. Look it up. Do you remember Teresa Hines Kerry? Come on, New England, you got to remember who she is. Huh? It's John Kerry's wife. Teresa Hines Kerry, in an interview, said that she was African American. Do you remember that? Do you want to know why she said she was African American? I'll tell you why she said she was African American. She said, because I lived in Africa and I climbed on the trees. I kid you not. Anyone want to test me, go look it up. I thought that was embarrassing. This is really embarrassing. What's the need? It's unnecessary. You better thank a union. Who is this woman? If anything, that should just come off natural, but it sounds Hillary-like. I told everybody that this woman was Hillary Clinton Black.0. I told everybody that. Now they're starting to think about it. And there's your proof. 860-522-WTIC. Joe is in New Hampshire. Hello, Joe. Am I not getting this as a black man? What am I missing?
Well, you're right about Hillary Clinton. She's her coach as to how to change voice moderation depending on the audience.
Right.
And remember that witness against Kavanaugh, Blasey Ford?
Yeah. Christine Blasey
Well,
Ford.
you remember she was scheduled to testify on a certain day, and all of a sudden she didn't show up, and they didn't know where she was, and she showed up about 3 days later and then testified with that high-pitched voice, like a victim, like a little girl.
Yes.
Well, guess where she was for those 3 days? You're talking about coaching. She was in North Carolina.
That's
for
right.
those 3 days with a famous actress named Meryl Streep.
No way.
Meryl Streep was coaching. It's a fact. Meryl Streep was coaching her for voice modulation. Meryl Streep could be with Kamala Harris for all you know. It could be Meryl Streep.
You know what? Let me tell you this, Joe. If I were to ever pick an actress who could pull off a black woman better than Kamala Harris, Meryl Streep is your woman, without a doubt.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, she's a role actress.
Exactly.
She might be the coach on this because they utilized Meryl Streep for the Kavanaugh testimony.
Now, I've got to look that up. That's insane, though. I never knew that about the Christine Blasey Ford case. I never knew that.
You can find that on YouTube. You can find the tapes maybe a couple of years, 3 years later, when Blasey Ford's talking to a crowd in California. She didn't have that high-pitched, shrill voice.
She sure didn't.
She had a normal voice. A few years later, it was all Meryl Streep. How to play the victim card and get sympathy.
Wow. Hey, Joe, whatever you do later on in the show, after the 5:40 hour, make sure you call me back because we're going to talk about the crash, okay?
It's in progress. Everyone get out before 4 o'clock today because the jobs report for August comes out Friday, and there's another report Wednesday. This is the beginning.
Yeah.
This is the beginning.
Make sure you call us back.
The day after Labor Day. The day after Labor Day is when it always starts, when it happens.
You got it, sir. All right, we'll check you out later on. Joe Wall Street will be calling us back. Let's get to Tim in Hamden. Obviously somebody who's a little bit more on the left. What am I missing? Is this embarrassing for Kamala Harris, or what am I not understanding about the need for the accent, Tim?
Well, it's the fact that both of the major party candidates, for history have been phonies and fakes and disingenuous people to begin with. They will tell you anything to one side or another. You're for a Green New Deal. No, you're not for it. You're for fracking. You're not for fracking. To go back and forth. Trump is now running around saying, well, we're not going to have a nationwide ban. We'll just have nationwide standards for abortion. All of that sort of stuff. But I tried to get a little call about something a little bit more local, rate hikes. Did you know that there was a PURA meeting on Friday?
I did. I read that what was it, Saturday?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, so they have the nerve, to just, we're not going to, talk about this again. We're just going to, late on Friday, when most of the time, what are they, the news media, when you don't want something to put it out late on a Friday so that not a lot of, ability for talk radio or anybody else to get on it, and everything will go there. And, the other thing, of course, is that the PURA board, these people that are raking up these high things, they're missing at least two other members.
And what wasn't the vote? The vote was just 3 members, wasn't it? It was a 2-to-1 vote.
Members, but they're supposed to have at least 5.
Yeah, exactly.
And Governor Clown, I don't know. I'm trying to be, has been on. I've seen him on local media. Oh, I don't want to talk about, whether we have 3, 5, 7 members and all that sort of stuff. So again, it's just so frustrating because they do these almost in the cloak of night.
Absolutely.
They don't want to go back on it. I don't hear. My solution, of course, is you've got this rainy day fund. Hey, it's raining. I'm getting flooded here.
Well,
okay?
Tim, don't fret. Tomorrow we're gonna have Fitch, Mark Fitch, who wrote the article. I don't know if you went to my Facebook page to read the article he wrote a couple of months back about the Connecticut Green Bank, but he's got an article that's coming out on the 15th of this month that he's going to preview tomorrow on the show, talking about how that money is being actually funneled into the Connecticut Green Bank through Eversource. So stay tuned for that tomorrow, because he's given an exclusive on that, and he's going to talk about how much money the ratepayers have been contributing to the Connecticut Green Bank or has been taken out through Eversource since 2004.
Absolutely. Real quick, if you're a hype man and you're a rapper, don't come to Hamden. Okay?
Why is Hamden too dangerous for hype mans?
Well, I don't know whether you heard.
Yeah, he's a friend of mine.
That man died.
He's a friend of mine.
Oh yeah, he died Friday.
Yeah, I know. He's a friend of mine.
Okay, I'm just saying. It was a warm. And Friday was one hell. By the way, there were street takeovers. Everything else in the world was going on Friday.
Yeah.
It was like everybody was juiced up on something. I don't know what was going on.
It's the last unofficial. It's the unofficial end of summer, and I think that played a small role in it. Thank you, Tim. I appreciate it, man. But don't forget, tune in tomorrow. We'll have Mark Fitch on the air tomorrow. Let's go to Jim in Wellington before we get out of here. Hi, Jim. You're on with Reese On The Radio. See if we can get you and Hank in. How are you, Jim?
Yeah, you got me real quick. I agree. I can't believe I agree with Tim with something. It's unbelievable. There's hope. There's hope in the country. That's the first thing.
That's my mission. Thank you, Jim. We finally got him, right?
There's hope. I don't have to yell, or he doesn't have to call me names or anything. As long as we agree, everything's great. Everything's great. Kamala Harris, she just solved her own problem about talking to the press. All she's got to do is pull a slang out, pull some kind of slang out,
right.
Use some kind of vernacular, and then take the lyrics from every famous black female singer.
Right.
She can start with Aretha Franklin and use some of the lyrics from all the songs when she wants to answer her question.
That's right.
She could take the fear right out of it.
I would say, Kamala, what is your way that we can sow the division within our country between the red and the blue states? She'd go, R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
Yeah. Oh, you better say, listen, there's a million of them. We'll let the list guy come in, but I'll tell you what, I'll close with this. I cannot figure out why people, it's so insulting to me, why politicians, as phony as they are and must be, pander to the lowest denomination when it comes to race.
Yeah,
it just blows my mind.
It would, again, and you would expect better from her, considering that everyone has been carrying water for her on this subject already. It was unnecessary. Talk about the unforced error. It's the unforced errors of this campaign that I keep mentioning that people don't pay attention to.
Let me throw this in. If she put a pair of, I'm going to date myself. She put a pair of Jackie O sunglasses on, walked around flipping her hair, right? Also, all she's got to do, she can just walk with
You're
some
right.
kind of style. She doesn't have to say a damn thing.
You're right.
Right?
Yep, you're 100%
Even
right.
if she goes in front of the press, she can limit it to just 2 or 3 things. Just do it.
Yep.
It just blows your mind. It really does.
Thank you, Jim. Let's go to Hank Thank you, sir. Hank is in Portland. What's going on, Hank?
Hey, good to hear you on the radio again.
Oh, my pleasure, sir.
Just to answer the question, I got 2 things. I originally called with one thing, but I got 2 things.
Go for it.
She's a code switcher doing a parody of what she thinks a black woman is. She's not. If you look at her cooking with Mindy, she doesn't sound like that.
Right.
And then and I first noticed it when she was running for president. She went against. She was trying to pull Biden's card on the busing.
Yes.
And she said, "Oh, it affected me." Then you go and look up her history. Biden didn't even pass that legislation till like 77, and she was in Montreal going to high school in 76.
Isn't it interesting? Wait a minute. She was in high school in 76. She was born in. Oh, you might be right.
Right. And then she to 81, and she was in Montreal, and that was what gained her popularity in the black community, saying, "Oh, the busing affected me directly," and looked at Joe Biden before she got in bed with him and became his running mate.
It's so interesting.
And then the last.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
And then the last comment, it blew my mind when I heard you talking to Joe. I just watched a movie yesterday night called Deliverance.
Oh yeah, sure.
And it's a Lee Daniels movie. It just came out.
Oh, you're talking about the new movie Deliverance. That's right. Yeah, there's a new film called Deliverance. I thought you were talking about the Burt Reynolds, Ned Beatty film. There's another one, right?
Right. So check it out.
Okay.
Meryl Streep is in it.
No.
She has a lot of bronzer on, and I don't know if she's depicting a black woman or what in the movie. And she's got this accent on, and she's in Philly, and it's an all-black cast except Meryl Streep. And it's funny that you guys brought that up.
Now I got to check it out.
She's got this accent or black accent or whatever you want to say, and it's in a Lee Daniels movie.
Oh, I got to check it out now. All right, I got to take a break. Thanks, Hank. I appreciate the call, sir. We'll take a break. More news, more views. I've got to come after Chris Murphy today. You're not going to believe this audio and the new report that's coming out of New York. It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Whether you own a local business.
You're clear.
Thank you, sir. Yep. I have my clock. I got a clock sitting in front of me. I make sure that I keep it up for you.
No problem. I'll be right back.
You got America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first time Nana moment
to Flight 101
to annual girls trip moments. Your can't miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
The law firm of Brown, Payne, Dearest & Scott understands that divorce can be intimidating, and the decisions you make today will impact your life forever. Divorce is complicated. There's a lot at stake when considering your future. At Brown, Payne, Dearest & Scott, our team of family attorneys have over 100 years of combined experience and realize that every family law case is different. At BPS Lawyers, you get more than a lawyer, you get a law firm. Visit us at bpslawyers.com. Katie Bissonette is responsible for the content of this ad.
It's not just about watching the game, it's about betting on it. I'm Mike Valeni, and on Catch the Ticket, Jim Costa and I break down every college football and NFL matchup like it's the last game we're ever going to watch. From the best bets to the sneaky underdogs, and of course, as my co-host likes to say, the value. And the one thing we're not going to do is pretend we're professionals. We have fun with it, it's an entertainment product, and it makes watching games a hell of a lot of fun. So Catch the Ticket, follow it in the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-511-3535. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider, 800-511-3535. That's 800-511-3535. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with, call Big Lou at 800-511-3535.
And now, a WTIC news update.
3:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva. The search is continuing for 2 people missing who were aboard a boat that crashed into a jetty at the mouth of the Connecticut River Monday night in Old Saybrook. One person died. Encon police say the boat was returning from Block Island. Southington police asking for the public's help in trying to locate a missing boy. 11-year-old Cody Schlau was last seen on Monday. Stands 5'4", weighs about 90 pounds. He had a blue shirt and blue shorts on at the time. The last time he was seen, anyone with any information on his whereabouts is asked to contact Southington PD. And Ansonia police say there's been an arrest in a suspected shooting incident over the weekend. They received a report Saturday of shots fired at 4th and North Main. No injuries were reported, but Bridgeport police did locate a vehicle with 3 suspects and a handgun later on, and police say additional arrests in that case are expected. Norwich Archbishop Michael Coate is stepping down. Coate has reached the mandatory age of 75. Pope Francis has accepted Bishop Coate's resignation. Hartford Archbishop Christopher Coyne will assume the role of apostolic administrator until Bishop Coate's successor takes over. Meantime, Francis arrived in Indonesia, started his longest trip. He is hoping to encourage Catholic communities and also celebrate the tradition of interfaith harmony. He had planned to take a rest day today, but officials say officials at the Vatican say he met with a group of refugees, migrants, and sick people at the Vatican residence in Jakarta. And later this week, there will be a vigil for a Hartford police officer who died in the line of duty nearly a year ago. HPD will hold the candlelight vigil Friday evening for Detective Bobby Garton. It was September 6th of last year. Detective Garton died after the police cruiser he was in with his partner was struck by the driver of a vehicle fleeing a traffic stop. The vigil takes place at the Hartford Public Safety Complex on High Street Friday at 7. WTIC News Time 3:32. Here's Jason Caterino with the forecast.
For the rest of the afternoon, it'll be sunny and nice. The high of 76. A nice light breeze out of the northwest. Clear, quiet, cool, and quite comfy tonight with the low down to 50 degrees. Another beautiful day midweek Wednesday, sunny and pleasant. A great day to be outdoors. Just don't forget sunscreen, the high of 80. Then Thursday, mostly sunny and nice still. The high of 77. A mix of clouds and sun for Friday, the high of 78. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
72 and sunny in Hartford. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Does your job require you to be on your feet all day? Teachers, postal carriers, salespeople, and restaurant staff. Many of us need our feet to get us through the day. Hi, this is Mike with the Good Feet Store, and I'd like you to hear from Donna. She's a nurse and a real customer of the Good Feet Store who wanted to share her story.
Oh, I have to tell you, I have struggled with pain in my feet. I was diagnosed with plantar fasciitis. With the 3-step program, it really fits to your lifestyle. I work in a hospital. I'm a registered nurse, so being on my feet, walking throughout the hospital during the day, I am free from any type of pain. And after working a 12-hour shift, I go home and my feet do not hurt.
Whether you're a nurse or anyone wanting to enjoy work without your feet getting in the way, come see us at the Good Feet Store. Learn more at goodfeet.com. We're located in Avon at 25 Climax Road across from Whole Foods. Good Feet Arch supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Schedule your free test walk at goodfeet.com.
Texting enrolls in recurring automated text marketing messages. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply. Reply help for help or stop to opt out.
Are you drinking too much? Is alcohol affecting your relationships? Could drinking be affecting your job?
Hi, I'm Jonathan, founder of Or Health. I struggled with alcohol misuse for 15 years. I tried self-help, therapy, and traditional 12-step programs, but nothing really worked. That's why I started Or Health. Or Health provides access to safe and effective medication, FDA approved for the treatment of alcohol issues. A daily pill proven to reduce alcohol cravings and make it easier to drink less or quit.
To join the thousands who are drinking less or who have quit altogether, text BEGIN to 710-710. You'll be sent a secure link to Or Health's private online assessment. If treatment is right for you, a licensed medical professional will prescribe medication for discreet and convenient delivery to your door. Just text BEGIN to 710-710. That's BEGIN to 710-710.
Not available in all states. For SMS terms, privacy policy.
1 minute.
Please go to
Thank you.
orhealth.com/terms. Use as directed.
California Psychics is America's most trusted psychic network. But don't take it from us. Take it from our customers.
You know, it was probably the best psychic reading I've ever had. Thank you, California Psychics. You changed my opinion about getting a reading over the phone.
It was definitely worth it, and I would do it again in a second.
That's because at California Psychics, we only connect you with the best. In fact, we reject 98% of the psychics who apply to us. So we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20.
I've never had a phone call make me so excited for the future.
So experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Get $5 off with code Radio5. Download the app.
There we go.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Let's get it on.
We are back. Go to Mary J. Blizzle on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. I'm still trying to figure out what hateration is in that song, but whatever. We sing it nonetheless. I'm actually getting ready to post an article on Facebook for the New York Post. Apparently, this story came out a couple of weeks ago, well, maybe about a week ago, but now it's since gone viral. Joey, have you heard the story about the guy at Chick-fil-A who got his order back?
No.
Okay. Let me just put it to you this way. You have to read the story, you have to watch the video, but let me put it this way.
Okay.
So
homework.
It's just been revealed that the employee who did this did not get fired because according to corporate, this was an honest mistake. Now, I'm not gonna call heads or tails on this one. I'm not even gonna call balls and strikes. I'm just gonna tell you what the story says. So the guy goes to Chick-fil-A. He gives it. If you've been to Chick-fil-A, you know what the drill is. You go there, you give your order, and they ask you your name. Sometimes they'll ask you your name beforehand, but it's usually a young person. So they ask the man for his name and his order. When he goes to grab his order, he gets the bag. There's a receipt attached to it with his name, and he looks at it, and the name reads Monkey. And he flips. Contacts the management. What's going on? You guys better have an explanation for this. Well, the manager in the viral video asked him, well, what name did you give the attendant? You know, the person who took your order. The guy's name it's Marquise. Yes. We're having a Starbucks moment here. You remember that? You remember the old complaint, right? With Starbucks. You go there, you give them your name, and somebody writes it down fast, and it's always misspelled, or they misheard it, but they don't ask you again.
Yep.
His name is Marquise, and it's funny because everyone's watching the video going, oh. As soon as he gives his name, everybody goes, oh. So, I don't know. I'm going to post it on my Facebook page. You tell me. You can leave it in the comments and tell me whether or not you think it was warranted or whether or not the person deserved to be fired or an honest mistake. I don't think you make an honest mistake when somebody says, my name is Marquise, and you write Monkey. I just don't. But we don't know who the person is. They didn't reveal who the attendant was who actually wrote it. So it's iffy whether or not the person was being malicious or not. I think they just wrote what they thought. That's what I think. That's in my view. So that's what they wrote. They wrote Monkey instead of Marquis. But I'm posting it now on Facebook. You can go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com so that you can check out the story yourself. Maybe you can watch the video as well and tell me what you think in the comments. But it's a lot of people some people are having a good laugh. Others are outraged. I'll admit I laughed a little bit. My wife saw it and she went, because my wife went and was immediately like, oh my goodness. And then she heard the guy say his name and she goes, oh. And she immediately made the observation. In her view, she just went, oh, that poor kid. And she was thinking about the person who gave the name. She misheard the person, obviously in her view, misheard it and wrote down whatever she thought she heard. Let's get back to the phones. 860-522-WTIC. Danny is in Walcott. Hello, Danny. You're on Reese on the Radio.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call. So, Mike, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Usually, in the last few weeks when you've been getting on the air, you say you're filling in for Todd. Now, I noticed you didn't do that tonight.
That was probably because I was caught up in the opening monologue.
Okay, so my question is Todd coming back?
I have no way of knowing that, so I know that I've just been commissioned to fill in, so I have no answer for you.
Yeah, because each week I listen to wait to see if they hear, what's going on, and I don't hear anything. Just out of curiosity.
Of course. I understand. I understand. If I had an answer to give you, I would give it to you, but I just don't.
Okay, that's fine. All right, thank you.
You're welcome, and thank you for the call. Let's go to George in St. Louis. What's up, my good friend? How are you?
Hi, Reese. In 2007, George Clooney did a movie called Up in the Air.
Yes.
I don't know if you remember it.
I do. It was a film about him going, I guess he was hired by corporate organizations to fire their affiliates all across the country.
If you also remember, there was a cardboard cutout of a couple, and he was supposed to take a picture of them with the backdrop at different locations like St. Louis and Seattle, if you remember that.
Yes.
But yeah, my suggestion is that Trump get a cardboard cutout of Kamala.
Okay.
And when they're looking for at the next Trump rally, when they're looking for Kamala when she's hiding, from the media, he gets out the cardboard cutout of Kamala and asks the cutout questions, of different things.
You know what? That sounds a little Clint Eastwood, who he was really bashed for that little bit that he did at the Republican National Convention in 2012. Remember that, when he came out with the chair?
Yeah, but anyway, when they're looking for Kamala, he pulls out from behind the podium the cardboard cutout of Kamala, and obviously he'll get the same answers from Kamala in real time as he would from the cardboard cutout.
Yeah, I don't think,
which is nothing.
Do you think that she'll do another interview after the CNN thing, George?
No. She's going to be hiding. She's going to be hiding in the garage like Joe did.
Yeah, I think.
For the rest.
What are we? Are we 7 days from the debate? Yeah, we're a week away. We've got the debate next Tuesday, which I'm sure she's going to be planning for, or she's going to be.
I don't think that debate is going to change anybody's minds. I don't think so. The people that where there's a D behind the name, they're still going to vote for the D.
Yeah, but you know what? I'll tell you. Let me put it to you this way, George, and I think this is where Kamala Harris runs into a roadblock for her campaign. In fact, I'll go so far as to say she'll suffer a few flat tires in this debate. If there's one thing we know that's consistent with Kamala Harris, in fact, I'll go two. There are two things that are consistent with Kamala Harris whenever she has to talk to someone about something, whatever it is. Two things are evident. The word salad, that's one. And two, she doesn't really give an answer. Like the time she was asked about, what are you going to do about inflation? And then she went on this diatribe about how things are more expensive, but never addressed the question that she was asked. And those are the two things that always give Kamala Harris pause. They give her flat tires going forward. In the debate, Donald Trump did something to Joe Biden that many people didn't think was going to happen with the muted mics. And that was when Joe Biden said the thing about we killed Medicare, that because he got that wrong because of his mistakes that he makes. Donald Trump came back with, yeah, he killed it to death. Or he beat it to death. That's right. He said, we beat Medicare. He said, yeah, they beat it to death. And then he gave this other incoherent answer, and Donald Trump says, I don't know what he just said there, and I don't think he even knows what he said there. Kamala Harris is a wealth of opportunity for Donald Trump to make that one line a classic because she never knows what she's talking about, and she has a tendency to ramble.
Well, yeah, that's... Do you remember Reagan when he said, "Well, there you go again"?
Yes,
do you remember
exactly.
What Trump needs is a line similar to that.
Yes, indeed.
Like where there you go again. In other words, you're an idiot. You're stuck as being an idiot, and you always will be an idiot.
I still believe that the greatest line,
a line like that.
The greatest line Reagan ever said is the one that everyone knows when he was asked about him being the oldest president in history, and he tells the moderator that he would not let age be a factor in this election. I will not use my opponent's youth and inexperience that's against him. And even Walter Mondale, who sat there, laughed. Everyone said when Walter Mondale laughed at the joke, they knew his campaign was over. It was, it was the campaign killer of all things. But you're right. Donald Trump has got to do exactly what he did to Joe Biden.
Anyway, when they're looking for Kamala, get out the cardboard cutout.
Indeed.
has to cut out questions.
Thank you, George.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you, sir. Listen. This it's interesting on a lot of levels because I do remember the anticipation for the debates between Barack Obama and Mitt Romney. I believe that there was some anticipation there. I don't think it's been this intense for me. I don't think I've seen this kind of intensity for something, primarily because Kamala Harris has one debate under her belt, and that was the one where, she took it clearly to Joe Biden about segregation. But on the opposite side of that, Tulsi Gabbard took her to the woodshed about her record as a district attorney and as attorney general. So she's got a lot of weaknesses here. I believe personally that the fear that her camp has is when she's under pressure without notes. Now, you might remember, folks, just last week, if not the week before, last week, her campaign was trying to change the rules of the ABC debate to where they would sit down and they were able to have notes. And the reason why is because, and there's no disputing it, that Kamala Harris has a tendency to go off track and start the word salad thing or become incoherent in her speech. This becomes a problem for her. And you can't have a moderator in a debate asking you a direct question and you're pretty much just circling the answer that you're trying to give or never giving an answer at all, especially when you have an opponent there who will seize on that opportunity and make her look even sillier. I'll make a prediction if I'm going to make any on this. If she does what I just suggested, rambles, word salads, never answers the question, if Donald Trump takes advantage of her doing that, he will be deemed a bully after the debate by the usual suspects. He bullied her, or the debate moderators were too harsh, or were giving Donald Trump, whatever the case might be. No one's ever going to criticize, at least the folks over at those networks, are ever going to criticize Kamala Harris for not being able to answer questions. She better be able to, because I don't even think her supporters will be able to. They'll be screaming at the television. That much I can tell you. They will scream at the television going, Kamala, answer the question. What was that? What does that even mean? They will be screaming. And then that support, she's got to come off. I mean, she can't make a mistake at all. She's got to come in hard hitting. She's got to know her stuff. And if those microphones are muted, which I guess they are, right? That's the deal. I guess the mics are muted. So she won't have any I'm speaking moments. She might try to. But they're going to have to, and I think they'll overplay their hand in that regard. I really do. I really feel like they'll say something. She'll do something to try to get a reaction or to at least get the audience to sway her way. But it'll be an act of desperation on her part. I'm not going to lie. I'm really excited about next week, Tuesday. I'm really excited about it. I just want to see it to get it over with. Find out exactly, just to see if she'll do another debate thereafter, or they'll just chalk it up as a loss. Anyway, okay. Sorry, when we come back in the next hour, I want to talk about, I had this, and pardon me because don't even have my notes in front of me. That's unprofessional. I want to talk about Chris Murphy. That is a crazy story that we just got out of New York City yesterday out of the New York Post. But I'll play some audio from Chris Murphy that you will not believe when you hear it, and with the sort of story that dovetails into his comments back in May. Also, I want to ask Jason Catarina in Weather, who's an Elvis Costello fan? I think I'm going to call it the Jason Catarina music question of the day. Is there anybody who's an Elvis Costello a fan? Because I tried to listen to his greatest hits, and it was littered with garbage. And we'll get into that later. We'll take a break. We'll come back. It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Hi, I'm SaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first time Nana moment.
Come to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments. Your can't miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is an important notice.
1 minute.
U.S.
Got it.
taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-727-9105. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-727-9105. 800-727-9105. 800-727-9105.
Crappy radio signal? Then listen to WTIC on the free Odyssey app.
Yeah. It's Reese on the Radio, NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. There's a lot of immigration news in the news from everywhere from Colorado now to Chicago. In the next hour, we'll talk about that. I have a strange feeling that there is going to be a lot of violence coming to the Chicago area. Why they're telegraphing it, I have no idea. But if you have watched the news as of recent, the mayor of, is it Aurora? Yeah, the mayor of Aurora, Colorado, is pretending that this housing development or this apartment, I should say, is not being overrun by Venezuelan gangs with long guns, even though there are people with videos showing completely the opposite. There are residents who live there who are talking about it online. It is everywhere. Then yesterday, there's a 911 call that has now been released today, has since gone viral, of an apartment complex run by another group of Venezuelans in Chicago. My wife actually saw the video just a little while ago and says to me, I used to take the bus on King Street. She's familiar with the neighborhood, saw the video, and was familiar with the block. And from what we're hearing online, there are people who are, let's say, gang affiliated, who are online telegraphing that if indeed this is happening, there will be consequences to said actions. And this, again, the other people who are talking about this are just regular citizens who in some ways are egging this on, suggesting that local gangs in Chicago stop drawing their ire towards each other and protect those streets. I don't know what to make of it, heads or tails, but we'll talk about it in the next hour. On a side of that, Chris Murphy in May was saying this about why you should have illegals in your community. And I think with the recent report that came up, and we'll talk about it in the next hour, I wonder what Chris Murphy has to say for himself about these comments.
Immigrants commit crimes in this country at a rate lower than natural-born citizens. You may not believe that if you watch Fox News every night, but I hate to tell you, it is the truth. So if you want a safe town or a safe neighborhood, you're better off. You are statistically safer if you have immigrants, because they commit crimes of violence at a rate lower than people who are born in the United States.
New York just released a statistic yesterday that says 75% of their encounters with criminals have been illegals. Go figure, Chris Murphy. Go figure. And with that number starting to rise in areas in and around the country, and of course with the stories in Aurora and in Chicago, I wonder what Chris Murphy has to say about those statements. We're not talking a year ago. We're talking about in May. And he posted it on his Instagram page. Chris Murphy, I got that directly from his Instagram page, where he was bragging about his statements on the floor. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Welcome back, Mark. How was your holiday?
It was really good. How was yours?
It was
You
quiet.
didn't have one.
No, I never have one. I'll hang out right here.
No, it was a good week. It was a very good week, and I got like 7 to 8 hours of sleep 4 nights in a row, so I didn't know what to do with myself. It was nice. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now,
you're clear.
Southbound side of I-91, you're going to see some delays in Hartford. You got delays from 34 down to 32 A and B. After that, you get a good ride down in toward Cromwell. Northbound 91 moving well. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is tied up. East Hartford approaching the Bulkley Bridge up to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound tied up from 46 up to 48 Capitol Avenue. 291 through 84 looking good east of the river. 2 eastbound's okay. Glastonbury and Marlboro. If you're traveling into Middletown, 9 northbound delays 22 to the Aragoni Bridge. Waterbury, 84 westbound delays 23 up into the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound in Danbury slowing from 3 to 5. Again, some slow traffic, 84 eastbound by exit 11 in Newtown. Heading down in toward New Haven. Southbound on the Parkway, look for some slow traffic getting by exit 60. 95 South New Haven slowing 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather. For the rest of the afternoon, it'll be sunny and nice. The high of 76. A nice light breeze out of the northwest. Clear, quiet, cool, and quite comfy tonight with the low down to 50 degrees. Another beautiful day midweek Wednesday, sunny and pleasant. A great day to be outdoors. Just don't forget sunscreen, the high of 80. Then Thursday, mostly sunny and nice still. The high of 77. A mix of clouds and sun for Friday, the high of 78. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Nachos! Hey, I'll take some. And some Frank's Red Hot. Nah. You're just gonna eat these boring nachos with no flavor. Frank it up! Frank it up! This guy finally gets it.
It's the perfect blend of flavor and heat. Frank's Red Hot. I put that on everything.
WTIC is 99 and kicks off a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
It's 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. One person died, and the search continues for 2 people still missing after a boat slammed into a jetty in Old Saybrook. By the time first responders got to the crash site on Monday, the boat was half submerged and taking on water quickly. ENCON Police Captain Keith Williams.
We got a report around 9 o'clock, a little after 9 o'clock, of a single vessel that collided with the eastern break wall of the mouth of the Connecticut River on the north side. We were told there were 9 people on board that were coming back from Block Island.
6 people were hospitalized, 1 in critical condition. 1 person was pulled from the water. They were able to raise the boat today, but there was concern because there was gasoline fuel spill in the water. And again, the investigation is continuing, and the search for the missing people that were on the boat, the 2 missing people, is still ongoing. The State Department of Consumer Protection has issued a summary suspension of the liquor permit for a New Haven restaurant that was the site of a recent shooting. The permit for Noah by September Bangkok was yanked today following the early morning shooting that took place there Saturday. A result of a fight within the establishment, 2 women sustained graze wounds. In his letter to DCP, Police Lieutenant Brendan Bohr wrote that, quote, "This establishment poses an immediate danger to its customers, the commercial businesses that it adjoins, pedestrians, and vehicular traffic. There was a stabbing at Noah last November." It's been Disastersville on Wall Street today.
Major U.S. indexes have been on pace for their worst day since August 5th, when worries over slowing economic growth sparked a global market rout. Experts say it's likely that fears of a slowdown are back. The Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P 500 all fell.
Correspondent Allison Keyes. Brief lockdown at an elementary school in Middletown today. Officers were called to Bealfield School on Maynard Street just before 11. They say the initial report was of a student with a firearm in their backpack. Turns out the gun was a fake. The lockdown was lifted shortly thereafter. Police say the matter is being handled by the Middletown school system. President Biden kicked off a content series entitled Investing in America. He held a sit-down with 4 Americans the administration says have benefited from actions taken by the administration.
Through the Investing in America agenda, we planted the seeds for a better future, and now those seeds are finally beginning to sprout. As a result, we're on the cusp of incredible progress and prosperity for the decade to come.
It is the start of a push Biden is making to highlight programs and policies of his administration. He'll keep talking about it this week during trips to Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan. Concern about shifting land in Southern California has prompted a utility company to turn off electricity, and some may be without power for up to 3 weeks.
People in more than 200 homes in the affluent Los Angeles suburb of Rancho Palos Verdes are without electricity and could be for days. Officials worry a potential landslide could damage electrical equipment and cause fires. John Crookshank is mayor of the town of 42,000.
Even a 24-hour shutoff for someone, you can imagine food spoiling. You can't really live in your home.
Some townspeople are also being told they may need to evacuate. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
Closing Bell report sponsored by Bouvier Insurance. And a day to forget on Wall Street. The Dow dropped 626 points, the NASDAQ down 577, and the S&P down 119. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Men, low testosterone causes a host of problems. These include a low sex drive, bad sleep patterns, unproductive workouts, decreased energy, brain fog, and more. But many men just attribute these symptoms to aging and don't consider that there are medical treatments that can give them back their vigor and vibrancy. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if you're feeling like I just described, it's time for you to treat that low T and change your life. At Northeast Men's Health, we're experts in treating low testosterone and other men's sexual health conditions. We've successfully treated thousands of men for low T and have seen the amazing difference that those treatments can make in a man's life. If you're feeling like the vast majority of men who are low T, within just a few weeks, you'll feel your energy return. That brain fog will go away. Your sleep will improve, as will your workouts, and your sex drive will be significantly enhanced as well. So make an appointment and make a true life change. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices across the Northeast to serve you.
It's time to clear the shelters. Since we started 10 years ago, NBC, Telemundo, and you have helped over 1 million pets find their forever families. Let's make our 10th year the biggest yet. Are you ready to find your new best friend? If you want to help but can't adopt, your donations can go a long way. Adopt or donate today. For more information, head to nbcconnecticut.com/cleartheshelters. Brought to you in part by WTIC News Talk 1080.
It's Kamala's next song she walks out to here.
Locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
People fail to realize the significance of a Queen Latifah in the hip-hop game. She is the only female rapper that I respect and I give props to, even though she never wrote one lyric. She's the only female rapper in the history of the game. That Salt and Pepper? No, absolutely not. Nicki Minaj, Little Kim? No. Queen Latifah is the only person that gets any respect from me because she is a natural talent. Maybe even Lauryn Hill on a smaller scale, but yeah. It's Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. I want to tell you, so this story, again, it's going to expand. How bad it gets, who knows? But I'm going to give you the story from the Colorado aspect, but more so from the Chicago aspect, because this story in Chicago, you could see a reaction that becomes really dire for the people in Chicago, especially when you had all of those protesters from the community that felt as though they were being overrun by illegals coming into there at the behest of Brandon Johnson, the mayor, and also Lori Lightfoot, the former mayor of Chicago. And what this could turn into could be violent if indeed the stories are correct that they're taking over either migrant apartment buildings or migrant areas or people, areas where Hispanics or Latinos may be dwelling. This could turn really, really bad. So I'll give you the breakdown of that story. It's from the Gateway Pundit. And there's this couple of people who are online who are responding to this and saying, in essence, sort of get your back up because this could get hairy. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. And of course, Senator Chris Murphy's comments in May when he rejected a bill by Democrats to end not only sanctuary cities, but more and more migrants being shipped from cities across the country. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center again with Mark Christopher. Hey, Mark.
Hey, thank you very much, Reese.
You're clear.
Good afternoon, everyone. If you're heading into Hartford right now, 91 southbound delays 33, down to 32 A and B, and again down by exit 28 on the Hartford Weather Shield line. Northbound 91 moving well Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 94 is slowing, approaching the Bulky Bridge up to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound losing some speed, 46 up to 48 Capitol Avenue. 291 through 84, that's okay. East of the river, 2 eastbound looking good, Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound slowing, Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 westbound Waterbury tight 23 into the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound a little slow by exit 5 in Danbury. Southbound 95 in New Haven slows from exit 46 down to 44. And southbound on the Parkway, we've got some slow traffic, 61 down to 60 in Hamden. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
Don't just live with foot pain. Find the Good Feet store nearest you at goodfeet.com.
WTIC weather.
It's been a gorgeous day as we head through the evening and overnight tonight under clear skies. Quite comfortable with the low down to 50 degrees. Another fantastic late summer day on tap for Wednesday. Sunny, pleasant, the high of 80. Mostly sunny and nice on Thursday, the high of 77. Clouds and sun on Friday, the high of 78. And just in time for the weekend, mostly cloudy Saturday. Some rain at times in the afternoon, the high 74. Chance for a bit of rain or drizzle Sunday morning. Otherwise cloudy with the high of 72. Danbury at 72 right now. Waterbury 69. Hartford 74. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Hi, this is Joel Johnson. I want to invite you to come to a special event with myself and Kara Sunland. It's called Beyond Better Money. We're going to talk about the retirement concerns that you have, living too long, healthcare costs. Join us September 18th at 6 p.m. at the Sheraton Hotel in Rocky Hill. Go to beyondbettermoney.com to register. That's beyondbettermoney.com to come to meet with me and Kara Sunland.
Johnson Brunetti is a marketing name for the businesses of JB Capital and JN Financial. Investment advisory services offered through JB Capital LLC. Insurance products offered through JN Financial LLC.
The 1920s was a decade of firsts for WTIC. In March of 26, WTIC was the first station to originate remote broadcasts of live professional vaudevillians. Telephone lines from the Capitol Theater in Hartford caught the acts of Jack Benny, Edgar Bergen, Charlie McCarthy, and more before they were on network radio and became household names. In 27, WTIC was the first station to introduce a radio quiz show, Jack Says, Ask Me Another, hosted by Mark Hickey and sponsored by Jack the Tire Expert. In 28, we aired the first broadcast of the annual Yale-Harvard Regatta live from New London and fed the coverage to NBC. If you're wondering, Yale won the varsity, junior varsity, and freshman races.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at HIMS, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
If you or someone you care about has been injured in an accident, you need the Carter Mario Law Firm, Connecticut's firm for the injured. We are ready to fight for you 24/7. So go to getcarter.com or call us at 877-GET-CARTER.
Mornings are...
All right, here we go.
You've got to get ready, pour yourself a fresh cup of coffee, and get on your way. Make your AM a little less hectic with hands-free listening to Brian and Company. Available on your smart speaker. Simply ask your device to play WTIC News Talk 1080. That's it. Give it a shot today.
And we're back. Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Are you an air drummer?
Kind of. Kind of.
You're at that light, and you're at the light. Someone's listening right now, and that song just came on. You air drumming?
Yeah, I'm air drumming. I probably will. I will air drum. I'll put it this way. I do the air drum, the one that everyone does. It is universal. I don't care. Well, I've only seen guys do it. I've never seen a girl do it. But by the way, if you want to win hearts and minds, ladies, do this air drum, and every guy will be in love with you. Your boyfriend will be in love with you. Air drum the drum solo in The Air Tonight by Phil Collins, and the guy will fall in love. He will like, you know that? He will lose it. It's like knowing all the lead characters of Star Wars. Star Wars. Just if a girl just starts randomly just doing that while listening to In the Air at Night,
and then just belting it out after.
Exactly,
too.
And a guy will go, I think I'm going to marry you. That's just to let you know, ladies. Just learn it. Guy will lose it. Chicago resident issues chilling warning to armed Venezuelan gangs after they overtake apartment complex in the Windy City. I can't play the video because it's way too many expletives. But here it says, brutal gang wars may soon be on the horizon in Chicago thanks to border czar Kamala Harris's intentional dereliction of duty. Again, this is the interpretation of the writer. So, as the Gateway Pundit reported and Libs of TikTok shared, a shocking 911 call on X that revealed 32 armed Venezuelan migrants were attempting to overtake an apartment complex in Chicago last night. The news comes a week after Venezuelan gangs took over an apartment complex in Aurora, Colorado, a city just 9 miles outside of Denver. Shortly after the news broke, a Chicago resident posted a video on TikTok that raises cause for concern that rampant gang violence could break out unless the Venezuelans are swiftly removed. In the video, he chillingly warns that the Venezuelan gangs are in for a rough ride if they continue to terrorize residents of the Windy City. This includes them getting potentially chopped up, as he says, if they don't stay home. He doesn't say that. Let me correct the record of what he says. Okay, so there's a slang term. For those of you who know it, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. When he uses the term chopped, that's a term that the kids use in street vernacular when they talk about cutting someone down with with an automatic weapon. Okay, that's what they call like a chopper. That's the term that they use. So he's not talking about anybody getting chopped up. I think that the writer here misinterprets the slang. I actually listened to the video, so I knew exactly what he was talking about. He also says that Chicagoans have an ace up their sleeves in an all-out war with the illegals. Switches, he calls them. Again, another terminology. He said the man is likely referring to Glock switches, which are small devices that can be attached to the rear of the side of a Glock handgun that converts the pistol into one that is capable of automatic fire. Hence the chopping. Like if you're doing automatic fire and you're moving in a downward motion, it is like chopping with a blade. That's where the term comes from. I cannot believe I'm explaining this slang. Anyway, the resident, here's his quote. To all Venezuelans in Chicago, if you ain't on all that BS, stay neutral. If you know someone in that building who is on that BS, don't let them run in that building. He says, because once word gets out that that's the building they're in, they're going to chop this bee down. Y'all better stay in the house. So I don't speak Spanish, but take this with a grain of salt if you like. This ain't Colorado. This ain't Utah. This ain't none of them places, he says. This is just like where you are from. The only difference is you guys use a lot of handguns and old revolvers and machetes and whatnot. We got switches. If you're not familiar with what a switch is, we will show you, he says. So when I see that, and I'm watching that, and then I just figured, okay, just a random video. Well, my wife goes on, and she's one of those TikTok, and I don't mean this in a sexist way. She's a woman. She navigates through that space better than I do. And she immediately goes in and she starts texting or whatever, searching on TikTok for anyone who's responding to this, and she gets a breathtaking amount of stuff of people responding to it. Again, we're talking less than 24 hours from the 911 call of the Venezuelans taking over the building in Chicago. And everybody's on TikTok with either a video about it or people in Chicago are talking or expressing their concerns about what could happen in the future. That is breathtakingly quick for social media. And, I know some people will say, look, but, Chicago brought that on themselves. Not really. The people of Chicago have been calling this out for the longest. They've had city meetings. They've had council meetings, all of this stuff. They had town hall meetings. They've been calling out the mayor. They've begged for Trump to get elected so they can end all this. But this could be bad. And I'll be honest with you. If it gets worse, first of all, this happening right now is what many people politically call the perfect storm. Because you have so many people trying to downplay the violence that's happening in the city with regards to migrant crime, that something like this escalating 2 months before an election, no one wants this. The Kamala Harris campaign doesn't want this at all. This, and again, we're talking a week before a debate. Politically, this doesn't look good. So someone's got to say something or do something. If she remains silent and something pops off, I can only tell you it will be a question for the debate stage. Back to the phones we go. 860-522-WTIC. Matt's in Bristol. How are we doing, sir?
Hello, Mr. Hopkins. How are you doing?
Pretty good, sir. What's up?
Hey, so I just want to, just on your silly story here, the Chick-fil-A.
Yes. Sure.
I think, so I think, well, two things. One, names have gotten, there's so many unusual names now. And two, the kids are so bad at spelling today because of smartphones and texting that I swear to God, if that kid heard the word monkey, he probably didn't even know he was spelling the word monkey. I think if you have 10 kids to spell monkey, 8 of them would get it wrong.
I think you're 100% right on this. And again, my response was just like yours. This sounds like one of those classic Starbucks situation. Remember when everyone was ranting and raving about how the Starbucks clerk couldn't get the name wrong? You'd say your name was Sue, and it would write down Zoo. It was like this. They're just so fast, and they're not paying attention. And these kids, again, have no real grammar skills or no real handwriting skills. And of course, their short attention span is probably bigger part of the problem. I think you're right. I think that the person heard marquee and wrote whatever they thought marquee is supposed to spell like, and never thought the word monkey thereafter. According to the story, they haven't been fired.
I think he heard monkey.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, that's what I think. And he just phonetically spelled out monkey without realizing that's monkey.
That's interesting. Let me give you the backstory to this. So here's what it says. Chick-fil-A in Maryland, by the way, this was in Maryland, has come under fire after a black customer received his order with the name Monkeys on it, thus sparking accusations of racism. In addition to raising questions about the fast food chain's handles in such incidents, Marquise Vanzago placed the order. He was shocked when the employee put the offensive word on there. Not only has this incident caused outrage among the community, but it's also brought light to the challenges business face dealing with sensitive issues involving minors. It raised important questions about how companies should respond to racially insensitive actions. But I don't even know where that is. Anyway, despite the offensive nature of the incident, Chick-fil-A decided not to terminate the employee responsible, thus citing the worker's age as a primary reason. The store owner, John Flatley, explained to Vanzago that the employee is under 18, so the employee would not be fired. They are still young and learning. This decision has sparked debate about accountability, especially when it comes to younger employees at the workplace. Now, I don't know whether or not because they were young, they shouldn't be fired, but I would say the naivete, as you just expressed, about the not knowing how to spell. I think you're right. I think you nailed it. I think this was not knowing how to spell. An 18-year-old kid who's on, the way in which people write on Twitter and the way they text each other, that may clearly be the issue here.
It's all shorthand or autocorrect.
Yes.
And, no one knows how to spell anymore.
Yeah.
So,
hey, when I found out that Eddie Bauer...
There are unusual names out there. So, if that's what he thought he heard, he's just sounding it out.
Yeah, it's funny because I was just thinking, I was having a discussion about this a couple of months ago. Eddie Bauer, the clothing line, they changed their logo from script to block letters because they said that their customers, they try to cater to a younger audience, cannot read cursive anymore. So they changed the logo.
They don't teach cursive in schools anymore. No one can write it. Unless you're over 30, 35, you can't. Yeah, people don't write cursive.
Yeah, it's completely incredible. I think you're right. I think you nailed it. I think, and again, I'm glad, to be honest with you, I'm glad the kid didn't get fired. I'm happy that they'll just, again, he'll probably have to take, maybe I will not write monkey 100 times on the blackboard. I
will learn to spell.
Yes, I will learn to spell. That's what it is. Exactly. There's I do like Bart. They do him like Bart Simpson. It's like Marquise is a name. Marquise is really a name 100 times. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate you, sir. Fred's in Middletown. Hello, Fred. You want me to Reese on the radio?
Hey, Coca-Cola is still in cursive.
Yes, but I heard there's some of their cans. Like on one side of the can, it's written without cursive.
Right, the truck though, it's still on cursive.
Is that wild?
So about that thing, the word, man, talk about a tempest in a teapot. I had a buddy who is from Montana, a tough guy, and he had brothers, and it was a high testosterone situation, and they'd be all kerfuffling, and when the old man got home, and go to him to settle it. First question he'd ask, he'd go, "Is anyone bleeding?" And of course, no. And it's like, okay, well, let me take my boots off and, make a pot of coffee, and then we'll see what's going on here. I mean, the idea that someone was called monkey, and that's like a thing. That's like that. Yeah, that's just crazy, man. That ever-expanding list of words that white people aren't allowed to use.
I don't know whether, and that's a thing. I'm very cautious to jump the gun. People have not used the word racial in this article. And I believe because where it happened in Maryland, the town in Maryland, I bet you a dime, I bet you $1,000 that the kid is a person of color. And it wasn't, once, I'll put it this way, Marquise, once he finds out who's the kid who wrote it, he's going to look at them and say, okay, I can't call this a racial incident unless there's something else, right? Unless he's saying, I think you look like a monkey, so to speak. But there's nothing racial here if the kid's of color.
Again, it's like it's in the realm of words, sticks and stones, but words can apparently slay me. I mean, ultimately, geez, that's just, I mean, I'm just jumping on that, kind of meta aspect of it. Real quick, speaking of words, black scent. Oh, my God. That's not, actually in the dictionary. It should. And then Kamala is Hillary Black Point. Oh, yeah, that's also... that's quotable. That's
I actually yes. Thank you for that one because I was thinking about that for a while, and I think Kamala Harris as Hillary Black .0 is for me because they both wear pantsuits and they cackle. They have a weird laugh. It's like she's the carbon. I would call Hillary Clinton the photo negative of Kamala Harris. That's what.
Absolutely, no. You ring the bell on that one. Absolutely,
absolutely,
right,
sir. Thank you. Look. Like I said, I feel bad for the guy, especially if it had been anywhere else in the world, if he was in Utah and this happened, and I've been to Utah, I could totally understand his outrage, but this happened in Maryland. The likelihood that this was racial seems almost... Everyone who's watched this video that I've seen so far react to it has had the same response. As soon as they find out the guy's name is Marquis, everybody goes, oh. It's incredible to watch. Just everybody goes, oh, and immediately is forgiven. Poor guy. Just say your name is Mark. You'll never have to have that problem again. Next time somebody asks you to Chick-fil-A counter, what's your name, sir? Mark. Never have a problem again. I promise you. Never again. That's what you do. How'd you think I got the name Reese? My middle name is Maurice. I hate that name. Sounds like an insurance agent. Nothing against insurance agents. I don't want you freaking out on me. This is Hartford. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you.
You're clear.
Good afternoon, everyone. Well, if you're heading into Hartford right now, overall, things are in pretty good shape out here. Looking at the westbound side of 84, you're going to see slow traffic approaching the Bulkley Bridge in East Hartford up to 47 Sigourney Street, 84 eastbound, slowing about a half mile before 46th Avenue into the tunnel. Southbound side of 91, that's slowing 33 down to 32 A and B, and again down by exit 28 on the Hartford Weathersfield line. Northbound 91 moving well, Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. 291 through 84, no issues east of the river. 2 eastbound moving well, Glastonbury into Marlboro. 9 northbound slowing from exit 22 up to the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown. 84 westbound's a little slow, 26 to 25 in Waterbury, again 23 into the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound, Danbury tight by exit 5, again 84 eastbound slowing in Newtown from 10 to 11. Southbound Parkway delays 61 down to 60. South 95 slowing from the Q Bridge in New Haven down to 44. And 91 southbound in New Haven tight from 3 down in toward the 95 interchange. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, the rest of today, sunny and nice, a gorgeous late summer day, the high of 76. Clear skies tonight, comfy temps. It'll be cool, that low down to 50. Another beautiful day for Wednesday, sunny and pleasant, the high of 80 with a light breeze out of the south. Thursday, mostly sunny and nice, but wet and cooler weather returns over the weekend, so enjoy this late summer weather we've got going on. Thursday, the high of 77. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Start your day with all the latest sports information. Matt Soroyce has updates from the Cordell and Cordell Sports Desk at 15 and 45 past every hour. Only on WTIC News Talk 1080.
And now, a WTIC News Update.
4:30 Hartford temperatures, 76 degrees. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. The search continues for 2 people who went missing when the boat they were in slammed into a jetty on the Connecticut River in Old Saybrook Monday night. Investigators say one person died, 6 were hospitalized, 1 in critical condition. The State Department of Consumer Protection has pulled the liquor license for a New Haven restaurant where a shooting occurred over the weekend. 2 women sustained graze wounds at Noah by September in Bangkok early Saturday morning. In making the case for the license revocation, police said Noah had become dangerous to customers and businesses around it. There was a stabbing there last November, according to police. State police wrapped up a busy Labor Day weekend traffic enforcement early this morning. Troopers answering over 5,000 service calls. 600 speeding tickets were issued, 10 for not wearing seat belts. 41 DUI arrests were made. There were 334 crashes, including 1 fatality. Ukrainian officials say 2 Russian ballistic missiles blasted a military academy and nearby hospital in Ukraine, killing more than 50 and wounding more than 200 others. The attack appearing to be one of the deadliest Russian strikes since the beginning of that war. And Southington police say a missing 11-year-old boy has been found. Silver alert had been issued for Cody Schlau. Police say he'd been missing since Sunday afternoon. The concerned citizen, they say, recognized Cody on the walking trail in Cheshire and called police. He is being reunited with his family. A down day all around on Wall Street, and that's an understatement. The Dow lost 626 points, the Nasdaq fell 577, and the S&P was down 119. Red Sox baseball tonight after the 6 o'clock news. It's the Red Sox and Mets from Citi Field. 6:10 is the pregame. Yanks continue their series in Texas with the Rangers. Eastern League, Altoona at Duncan Park to take on the Yard Goats. 7:10 first pitch there, and that's on the Odyssey app. And in the WNBA, the Connecticut Sun host the Seattle Storm. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Sorry, but we actually have a wait list for our Monstera.
Shaw's greenhouse is really bringing in the green.
We can't keep snake plants in stock.
She needs a construction manager to build on her roots and grow.
We could add a whole section for ferns, but here we'd have dahlias, dahlias, and more dahlias.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only.
Hey, you got any
diabetes,
Elvis
high blood
Costello?
pressure, anxiety meds? Everyone's on.
I can pull some up in a minute.
Old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes.
Actually, if you can play, what is it,
of term
Pump It Up,
insurance may only
the
cost
opening?
you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-511-3535. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-511-3535. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-511-3535. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-511-3535. 800-3535 or biglou.com.
It is your girl, Cammie. And I want you to know that when I listen to the radio, okay, I listen to Reese on the radio.
I love the way this song opens. And then that's it. It's Reese on the Radio, NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. Little Elvis Costello there. I've been trying to figure this out. I was coming home from the comedy club. I took my wife to go see one of these comedians that was on America's Got Talent back in 2018. I can't even think of the guy's name right now. He was funny. I just don't remember his name. Anyway, so we were on our way home, and I got this on the drive home. It was like 30 minutes for the drive. And in my head, I go, hey, I'd like to hear some Elvis Costello. And I played Allison, of course, and I don't remember what the other song it was that I played, but for the love, it's not coming to me right now. What's another big Elvis Costello record, Joey? You got to know one other than Allison. He's got another popular one, right? I can't think of it. Anyway, but I just, as my wife is there, working the phone because she's playing all the audio, I said, hey, put on Elvis Costello's greatest hits. And it was a smattering of god-awful music. It was just bad. There were a couple of songs that I knew that are, pretty good. But that was it. It couldn't have been any more than 3 records, maybe 4 that I loved. But I could not, there wasn't anything that I could say, wow, what an incredible array of music. And just nothing. And I'm trying to figure out who in the hell is an Elvis Costello fan. And I started also listening to his music, and I got this impression that he was like the UK's answer to Billy Joel. And tell me if I'm wrong. I don't know. But Jason Caterina, he's a big music guy. So Jason, if you know anything about it, let me know if you're an Elvis Costello fan and whether or not, I don't know, what you think the greatest Elvis Costello song is. I think that Pump It Up song is probably the most, catchy one that I know. And I like the Allison record, but it's short. It's just kind of simple. What is the other song that I'm thinking of? He's got another one that just for some odd reason escapes me, which proves my point that Elvis Costello just seems like he's famous, but I'm not sure why. I guess that's the only way I could put it. Is like I know that he's a singer. I know that he's a very famous singer, but can't think of a string of hits by him or an album that anyone cites as the greatest album ever by him. Just never heard it. I can't think of any. And maybe we should ask a DJ. You know what? We'll ask Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Mark, Elvis Costello. Are there real fans of his, or is he just a guy who just dropped albums? Can you think of any songs by him?
Allison, right?
I got Allison.
Yeah.
Pump It Up.
Oh, that Pump It Up's a good one. Let's see, Elvis Costello.
So you're in the dark too. I knew it.
Sort of.
I knew it. That's like he's just, you know who he is, but no one can cite his music. It's weird. I just found it as weird.
Monica, what else do we have? Pump It Up. Every day I write
Every day I write the book. That was the song. Yes, that was the one. That one I actually kind of like that one. Yes, great song.
And I'm a big fan of his wife's work. I'm a big fan of Diana Krall.
That's right.
And he's written a couple of songs for her.
Oh, has he?
Tremendous. Oh, tremendous.
So yeah, this song is great because I love the bass on this. This is a great song.
Yeah, he's a great songwriter.
Yeah, but but when you think of him, I kind of go Elvis Costello. It's like it's like limited. Like you know him, but you don't really know him.
He hasn't had a lot of.
He doesn't have a huge catalog.
Type hits, but he's got a huge following.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Thank you, sir.
Oh, my pleasure, big guy. I saw him once. I think he warmed up for I'm a huge Steely Dan fan, and he warmed up for a Steely Dan show that I saw up in Boston.
Okay, now that makes sense, and I'm a huge Steely Dan fan too. Love Steely Dan.
I love the Dan. I think today back in 2017, the great Walter Becker passed away, unfortunately.
Yes, he did.
I think that was his anniversary today. Of course, one half of Steely Dan, one half of the writing team, him and Donald Fagen.
Yep.
From Bard College in upstate New York. If you're heading into Hartford right now, you're on the.
All right, you're clear.
Thank you, sir.
This traffic.
Yeah, I was on the phone with someone.
Oh, that's okay.
If you're heading southbound 91, delays 33 down to 32 A and B, and again 27 down to 28. Northbound 91 moving well, Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 tied up 56 Governor Street into exit 48 Asylum. 84 eastbound slowing approaching 46.
Zapper Creek Mo on the radio, please no.
291 through
Zapper Creek Red said instead of Reese on the radio, it should have been Mo on the radio. I was thinking my middle name is Maurice. I'm like, no, thank you.
If you're heading 84 westbound,
Yeah, that doesn't have the same ring to it.
Nope.
Again, 23 into the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound, you got slow traffic 10 to 11 in Newtown. Southbound Parkway delays 62 down to 60 in Hamden. 95 southbound slowing from the Q Bridge down to 44 in New Haven. And 91 southbound delays from 3 down in toward the 95 interchange. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
W.I. Clark. Call us or find us online at WIClark.com.
W.I. Clark provides superior equipment, parts, and service to the construction and landscape industry across Connecticut. We represent great brands like John Deere, Wirtgen, and Leeboy, and our employees have been the key ingredient behind our success since 1925. Online at WIClark.com.
WTIC weather.
As we head through the evening hours, clear skies, comfy temps tonight, quite cool with a low down to 50 degrees, sunny and pleasant for our Wednesday, the high up to 80. Another great day Thursday, mostly sunny and nice, the high 77. Friday, sun and clouds, the high of 78. And as we head into the weekend, we'll have some rain at times Saturday afternoon. It'll be mostly cloudy, the high 74. Sunday, chance for a bit of rain or drizzle in the morning, otherwise a cloudy day, the high of 72. Right now, New Haven 72, Bridgeport also 72. It's 73 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep.
Back in about 2 minutes.
You got
with
it.
Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Technological advances speed all things up, including dental care. Columbia Implant Center in Manchester takes full advantage of this technology to bring better, faster service and better results in one day, the same day, 7 days a week. We have the specialists, the facility, and the technological expertise to provide and complete the treatment today. Call Columbia Implant Center at 860-730-6020 or visit ColumbiaImplantCenter.com.
California Psychics is the real deal. They helped me out, totally changed my attitude, totally got me psyched to start my business and to take a new path in my life.
At California Psychics, we only connect our customers with the best. We reject 98% of the psychics who apply to us, so we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. New customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. So experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Check out WTIC on Instagram and then lose an hour because you start scrolling and you go down a social media rabbit hole and then there's the video of that dog with the skirt.
Come on, if you're at the light, Reese.
There it is.
Does anyone at the light? On Route 9 in Middletown, roll down the windows. Show the neighbor next to you. You can do a mean drum solo on Route 9 South.
This one's for you, ladies. Learn it.
Learn it, live it, love it. Melt it out, baby.
This is, again, it's just one of those things, you know, it's funny because thank God for the TV series Miami Vice, which was, again, no one would have ever talked about this song if not for that scene. It is weird. For those of you who've ever seen that scene in Miami Vice, it is just Crockett and Tubbs inside the car in a drop top in the middle of the night going through that entire record. No dialogue. It's just them driving. The song is all the dialogue you need. It was brilliant, and it was all anyone could talk about the next day. It was like, did you hear that Phil Collins song? it's like the scene was epic. Michael Mann, who is the creator and the director of Miami Vice, knew exactly what he was doing. It is an iconic moment in television history. I will, and again, that song is just, like I said, if you're a guy and you grew up, you didn't even have to like Miami Vice. You liked it after that song debuted on it. Because did you know that Samuel L. Jackson is in an episode of Miami Vice, as well as Ed O'Neill, Al Bundy? Did you know that? Not a lot of people don't. There were like so many, and a good friend of mine who introduced me to Dave Chappelle was a regular on Miami Vice, a comedian by the name of Charlie Barnett. And Charlie Barnett had a recurring role on Miami Vice. He played sort of like a snitch for Crockett and Tubbs. You might remember Charlie Barnett also from the film DC Cab with Mr. T. And Charlie Barnett was a street performer in New York City, and Dave Chappelle, when he came to New York from DC, was a big fan of Charlie Barnett, and the two of them together. And Charlie Barnett introduced Dave Chappelle to me, or me to Dave Chappelle, and that's how Dave Chappelle and I became friends. Let's get back to the phone. Mike is in I'm sorry. Let's go back to Mike. Mike is in Plainville. He's back on the line. Hello, Mike. You're on with Reese on the Radio.
I'll tell you what. Nobody thought we could have a pandemic like we did. No one ever saw it coming. The fact that everything was shut down, people died, people lost their businesses, we had riots. I'm looking past the election. I don't have a good feeling about this.
You don't?
No, I don't, because look at our domestic policy.
Well, hold on, Mike. Let me stop you for a second, because I want to delve in a little bit if I can. Just take a minute here. To delve into what you're saying, what you're concerned with. Do you not believe that what you, I, and everyone else is seeing on a fiscal level, on a budgetary level, on regular mom and pop kitchen table, pocketbook, wallet issue, do you believe that there are so many people in this country who are willing to forego that, knowing that going in the direction of Kamala Harris is going to have more, if not worse, of the same? Do you believe people will vote against their best interest and their pocketbooks and being able to take care of, buy basic things like food and gas? Do you think that they would vote for Kamala Harris because of their abject hatred of Donald Trump? Do you think that's where we are?
No, but some of them will.
No, that is without a doubt. I believe that the people who don't have to care.
I hope that people are smart enough to think like that, but I just don't know. Now, here's the thing, okay?
Uh-huh.
You have a crumbling foreign policy or domestic policy, okay? Here's the thing. You're going to have less cops, less military, less teachers.
Indeed.
Less nurses, less doctors, less of all the honorable professions, because people aren't going to put up with what we're starting to put up now with gangs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, anybody out of college doesn't want to be a police officer.
Yeah, I mean,
they don't want to go to college and end up being shot and killed 2 years after they get on the force.
That's right.
This is all, we're hemorrhaging. We're starting to hemorrhage. We started 15, 20 years ago.
I think rational people do understand that. There are some irrational people who are going to vote based upon their hatred of Donald Trump. I get that. I don't think that there's any way to reach those folks. I do, however, believe that, look, whatever's going on with them on a personal level, with be it Trump or Kamala Harris for that matter, I have a strange feeling that they're going to have to vote they're going to have to vote their conscience on this one, on the level of saying, look, I want to be a Kamala Harris supporter, but we obviously know that she's not capable of.
People see that the government's just receding. They're going away. They're hiding. They won't speak to us. She doesn't say anything. Well, she's not too bright.
No one believes. Look, the average person doesn't believe that they're going to see that $25,000, because I hear the chatter online. They're going, "Hey, she may promise to give $25,000 to every first-time homeowner," but no one believes that they're going to see that money themselves. So I wouldn't.
There are people. When Obama got elected, they thought they were going to get a new house.
They thought they were going to give free health care, and health care is still one of the major problems they have. And he got that legislation passed. So imagine.
You see it where the government's just trying to crawl away into the darkness and not have to talk to us?
Yeah.
Or answer for blunders that they've committed? When are people going to get fed up and start,
Yeah. Listen, I believe this is going to be that election. But listen,
Look
Mike.
at the school we have in state government.
Mike, I promise you, I believe that this is going to be that election when it happens. You're going to see very, very striking difference from what you're seeing in the news media. But thank you for the call. Let me go to Dan in East Windsor. Hello, Dan. You're on Reese On The Radio.
First off, this must be the Twilight Zone because Tim and Hamden actually sounded reasonable today. But hey, while I was on hold, you were mentioning stuff about Elvis Costello.
Yeah.
How you knew he was famous, but not sure what for. Kind of like Paris Hilton. She's famous just for being Paris Hilton.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nothing else. And did you say your middle name is Morris?
Maurice.
Oh, Maurice. I thought you said Morris. I was thinking. I wasn't thinking insurance. I was thinking Morris the Cat, 9 Lives. But anyway, the reason I called. The reason I called is you've been talking about Chris Murphy. I was just wondering if there's any way that you could get Matt Corey, the Republican challenger for this upcoming senatorial election, on the show and interview him. He's
Sure.
a good guy, a good conservative, business owner, military veteran. I think it'd be awesome to have him on there, get him a little bit more exposure.
I will ask Joey if he's got a number for him. Yeah, we'd be happy to have him on. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah, in fact, I'll play him this audio I'm going to play in the next hour and see what his response to that is. Thank you so much, Dan. I appreciate it. Let's go to Michael's in Newington. Hello, Mike.
Hey, Maurice.
I know I may have started something that won't end. Thank you, Mike.
As soon as you said it, I went, he's opening up that can of worms, man.
Sure I am.
Hey, listen, did you get the other, I probably was on hold or something. Did you get the other Elvis Costello song you couldn't think of?
Yes, it was Every Day I Write the Book.
I was going to say, there's 3 other songs I really love by him. And I'll tell you the other 2, but that's my favorite by him. I really love that.
That was the only reason why I played the song last night. As we were driving, I thought of that song, Every Day I Write the Book. And I was thinking, I was like, I want my wife to hear this song. I wonder if she's ever if she ever heard it before. And I asked her to put it on, and she was singing along. And I was like, oh, okay, you know this song. And then I said, hey, what the hell? Let's play all of Elvis Costello's hits. And they played Allison, then they played Pump It Up, and then the rest was a smattering of trash. It was horrible.
I was going to mention Pump It Up or Watching the Detective.
Yes, that also played. Watching the Detectives is not an awful song. It's a ska record. It's a ska record, but you can attest to this, Mike. Watching the Detectives is a very top 40 ska song. It's like listening to what's the guy who what's the guy's name? Something Red. What's that guy's? Simply Red. Yes. Yes. It's like listening to Simply Red versions of reggae. Right? It's very top 40. You know what I mean? It's very formulaic. It's got some ska, elements to it, but it's not really ska. It's not the Specials, is my point.
I'm a music guy. I have a lot of musician friends in Connecticut. Everyone thinks I'm in the band when I go to places because how I carry myself. I have a tattoo around my bicep. Now my friends who are listening, I got a tattoo around my bicep of sheet music.
Okay. Now that's actually a cool tattoo. Let me ask you this. Speaking of like being a music aficionado, what did you think of groups like the Specials? Did you like them? I kind of feel like the Specials were kind of like Elvis Costello. They had a couple of hits, but not a lot.
I got to plead ignorance. I don't even know who that is.
The Specials? Rudy?
Yeah, I probably do.
Listen.
If I heard a song by it, I probably would.
Okay, so the Specials have a song, of course, one of my favorites is A Message to You, Rudy. And another one is Ghost Town. Just listen to them. What era this is? I want to say 70s, 80s, maybe? Like 80s?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't. Now I got to go listen to them.
If you listen, if you check out that movie by what's his name, Guy Ritchie, the movie Lock, Stock, 2 Smoking Barrels.
I own it.
Okay, you own it. Actually, I'm positive that Ghost Town is in one of the opening scenes. They just play the instrumental. It was one of my favorite songs by the Specials.
I'll check it out shortly. I'm a movie buff as well, so I sent the movie to Mr. Tom Shattuck a while back because we got in a roll about movies one day, and I sent him a movie to watch that is a rarity. And if you've never seen it, you should watch it if you want to appreciate a good movie that nobody knows about.
What's that?
Called Cold Blooded with Jason Priestley.
Oh, really? Jason Priestley's in a good movie? Nothing against Jason Priestley.
This movie is a black comedy, and you want to see it because what it is, really quick, I'll tell you a quick synopsis of the movie.
Okay.
He's a meek dude that works for the mob in a capacity of taking the calls for the bets that come in. He's taking sports betting. He lives in the basement of a convalescent home. His life sucks. He has no girlfriend. He's meek. When he walks, you can tell this guy's pathetic. He gets a call one day from the mob boss, who happens to be Robert Loggia.
Oh, love him.
Right?
Love him.
Yeah, he gets called in his office and says, guess what? You're getting a promotion. He goes, what do you mean? He goes, did I hear you're still living in that convalescent home basement? That's pathetic. He goes, you're going to be our new hitman. He goes, what are you talking about? He goes, listen, the hours are great. You make a lot of money. You're going to be the new hitman.
Robert Loggia is one of the most unsung heroes of acting. I love Robert Loggia.
The funniest thing out of Robert Loggia, when he's telling him this and tell him, listen, I'm not giving you a choice here. You're going to be our new hitman. And he goes, now get the F out of here. So what happens, and I won't tell you the rest of the movie, but what happens is the guy's a prodigy. Jason
Priestley, Robert Loggia, and the name of the movie again is?
Cold Blooded.
Cold Blooded. Now I got to watch it tonight. Now
Janine Garofalo's in it. She plays a hooker. Michael J. Fox has a cameo.
No way.
And the guy who's going to teach him how to be the hitman is the guy that played Boone in Animal House. What's his name? He was the main guy's best friend there. Boone, the one that was with the Katie, the girl, and she ran out.
Oh my God! I want to say I'm not going to remember his name.
Peter Riegert.
Really? Okay, now I have to watch this film. If Michael J. Fox and Janine Garofalo, I never thought they even had a movie together at any time. Okay, now I got to check it out. I will definitely give my review tomorrow.
Have a good day, brother.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you. All right, when we come back, folks, in a little bit, I'm going to play this piece by Senator Chris Murphy. And then I'm going to read this report out of the New York Post. I apologize. Out of the New York Post that is actually a shock to the system considering what Chris Murphy said on a Senate floor just a couple of months ago in telling people that they want migrants in their community. And I'd love to hear a response from him to that, considering the report that came out of the New York Post yesterday. But we'll play that when we get back. That'll be a part of our 5 o'clock focus. So stay in tune for that. And we'll take your phone calls as well, 860-522-WTIC. Let's get to Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon.
You're clear.
Thank you, sir.
Into Hartford right now, southbound side of I-91. Look for delays by 36. In Windsor, again from 34 down to 32 A and B. In Hartford, more delays, 27 down to exit 28. Northbound side 91 moving well, Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is tied up from just after 56 up to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound got delays about a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 291, 384 okay east of the river. 2 westbound, look out for an accident by 5D. Delays back to exit 8. Behind that, 2 eastbound's a little slow by exit 5A in East Hartford. If you are traveling in the Middletown 9 northbound, slowing Harbor Park to the Aragodi Bridge, 9 north, again slowing by 32 in Berlin. Heading into Waterbury, westbound 84, a little slow from 26 pretty much up to the Mixmaster, just some slow traffic there, sluggish. 84 eastbound, you got delays by exit 3 in Danbury. 84 eastbound, again, delays from 10 to 11 in Newtown. Southbound Parkway, you look for slow traffic 61 to 60. 95 southbound New Haven, slowing 46 to 44. 91 southbound, you got delays 3 down in toward the 95 interchange. Traffic and weather together on the 8s, WTIC News Talk 1080.
Brought to you by Express Employment Professionals.
If your supply chain demands a flexible workforce, hire with Express Employment Professionals. With contract and full-time workers from Express Employment, you get the staff you need and manage contingent labor costs. Learn more at expresspros.com. That's expresspros.com.
WTIC weather. For the rest of the afternoon, it'll be sunny and nice. The high of 76. A nice light breeze out of the northwest. Clear, quiet, cool, and quite comfy tonight with the low down to 50 degrees. Another beautiful day, midweek Wednesday, sunny and pleasant. A great day to be outdoors. Just don't forget sunscreen, the high of 80. Then Thursday, mostly sunny and nice still, the high of 77. A mix of clouds and sun for Friday, the high of 78. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Traffic is brought to you by the Heyman Law Firm.
If you or a loved one has been the victim of medical malpractice, know that you are not alone. Call 1-800-HEYMAN and they will get you the answers and advice you deserve. Attorney John Heyman is your legal authority in medical malpractice. Call 1-800-HEYMAN.
WTIC is 99 and kicks off a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
It's 5 o'clock, Hartford temperature 74 degrees. Good afternoon, I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Crews have been searching the mouth of the Connecticut River off the coast in Old Saybrook today. That's where a boat crashed into a jetty, killing one person, leaving 6 others injured, and 2 people still missing. 9 on board that ship, all told. The boat crashed upon return from Block Island. Encon Police Captain Keith Williams says it's not abnormal to be out that late on a vessel.
It's not unusual. People that are familiar with the waters and go out to Block or Montauk or, wherever they're, especially during the holiday season, during this time of year, it's not uncommon for people to come out late at night or to come back late at night.
The man found was pulled from the wreckage in the water. Divers and first responders from numerous cities and towns from as far away as Middletown have been helping in the search. They're still trying to figure out what led up to the crash of that 30-foot vessel. Stocks took a bath today on Wall Street with the Dow dropping more than 600 points. The worst day for the markets since that big sell-off last month. Art Hogan is chief market analyst at B. Riley Wealth.
September is very difficult for equities, has been for the last 45 years. There's no one reason for it, but it seems to be the month that we see the most volatility and the most downside, especially in years when we've had a good run into the September month.
Concerns over a slowdown continue with an important jobs report out later this week. State Department of Consumer Protection has pulled the liquor license of a New Haven restaurant. The action comes on the heels of a shooting over the weekend at Noah by September in Bangkok. There was a shooting early Saturday morning at the Crown Street establishment that left 2 women with graze wounds. There was a stabbing at Noah last November, and officials say they received complaints in December of alcohol shots being poured directly into the mouths of patrons during a party. In a letter to DCP, New Haven police said Noah had posed an immediate danger to customers and surrounding businesses. Commissioner Brian Caffarelli says the restaurant operated in a way that threatens public health and safety. The license is suspended indefinitely. Deadly attack in Ukraine. 2 Russian missiles hit a military education center and hospital, over 50 dead.
It is the most serious attack, most fatal single attack this year. This isn't what we would consider a frontline town like Bakhmut. This is well west of places like Kharkiv, Dnipro. It's a place that we would stay regularly and feel relatively safe, at least 100 miles from the Russian border.
Charlie D'Agata on that report. The White House has condemned the attack and says it shows a need to strengthen Ukraine's air defense. The U.S. will send more military aid in the coming weeks, says National Security spokesman John Kirby. President Biden spoke about the administration's economic policies today. He spoke virtually with community leaders about how they've benefited.
Roads and bridges being built, lead pipes being removed from homes and schools, seniors saving significant money on prescription drug prices.
On the campaign trail, Vice President Harris is in New Hampshire Wednesday, and former President Trump will be in Pennsylvania. With little more than 2 months until Election Day, voters will no doubt be peppered by robocalls, ads, and text messages in the coming weeks. Senator Richard Blumenthal says a good many will come by way of artificial intelligence, AI. Blumenthal says there's already a ban on robocalls to consumers unless the party has given permission by the consumer to do so. Blumenthal says another bill in the works could be approved before the election.
We have bipartisan support, as I hope we would, for some of these measures. They could pass before the election. They could pass in the next week or 2 weeks. But it would take resolve on the part of Congress, and there should be bipartisan resolve.
Says the FCC should approve robocall disclosures when it comes to using AI in order to blunt deep fakes, and other distortions. We told you the Dow shed 626 points today. The NASDAQ lost 577, and the S&P was down 119. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hey, it's Tom Shattuck. Mike, who lost 40 pounds with Awaken 180, was in the same position I was in. You're most likely in. Confused.
I spent so much money on personal trainers in the last 10 years. Didn't have a lot of discretionary income left. So I tried to listen to everybody else. What do you eat? You know, everyone said, eat healthy. Define eating healthy. Cut out sugar. Tell me what foods don't have sugar. So their process to me was an education. That was really the eye-opening thing to me is I had 10 choices of food in front of me every day. You know, when I was on the run in sales, I was making 8 bad choices.
30 seconds.
Good ones. And I loved the 2 good ones. I just didn't know they were good. So I made bad choices every single day. And the program, Gonna Awaken 180, really changed my mind, opened my eyes up to, it was a true education on food, what to eat, what not to eat. And it's been fantastic.
Knowing what to eat. The ability to navigate nutrition labels, a proven, clear path for weight loss, and exactly what you will receive with Awaken 180. Leave confusion at the door and do what we did. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
That's what I'm talking about. Good old Rudy. Let's get to the phones. 860-522-WTIC. I've got about a minute and a half. Let's take Tanya in Norwich. Tanya, I'm assuming you have a take on the Miami Vice TV show.
I do, and a lot of people don't realize that Bruce Willis was the start there.
That's correct. Bruce Willis was another one. I totally forgot about him. There were so many, like, because they only played like maybe in 1 or 2 episodes, you never really got, you couldn't get attached to those characters because they were all sort of making their mark on the TV show.
Exactly.
Yeah, Bruce.
And then you sit there and it's like, did he really? Yeah, so Google it. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right. Of course I am.
There's so many people. And it's funny. And that's another point you're bringing up, Tanya. There are a lot of big stars who were who got their start in that, on that show, on that, what they call a procedural. I think they're called now. That's the terminology for those type of cop TV shows.
Oh, well, that's new.
Yeah, I never even heard. Yeah, they're called procedurals. It's a weird terminology for these television shows. They've all got new ones. What was your? I mean, were you a regular watcher of that TV show, Miami Vice?
I was when I was younger.
I couldn't really. I thought it was too highbrow for me. It just seemed too deep and dark. I couldn't get into it. I was a big sitcom kid, and Miami Vice was just one of those shows I'm like, I can't get into this. There's a lot of gun and violence stuff. I was like, I don't want to watch this. And drugs. A lot of drugs. Just couldn't deal with that.
That's Florida.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't my thing at all. Who was your favorite? I got to ask. Who's your favorite, Crockett or Tubbs? Who's your favorite on the show?
Crockett.
You like Crockett?
Crockett.
Okay. Everybody liked Crockett. I will admit, at one point in the 90s, I did dress like him. I had a pair of espadrilles.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that took you back, didn't it?
It did.
That took you back. People, you say that
Showing
name.
my age.
You say that name today, people go, espadrilles. Yeah, that's what the shoes were. That's what they were called.
Exactly.
Thank you, Tanya. I appreciate it. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Hey, Mark, did you ever had a pair of espadrilles, or do you even know what they are?
I don't even know what they are.
Oh,
I probably couldn't afford them anyway. So.
Nobody could. If you wore them, if you ever goes back and see an old Miami Vice episode, they're like boat shoes, but they're slip-ons. And Crockett and Tubbs wore them all the time in Miami, but the name of the brand was espadrilles.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, I hung out at the Clevelander a lot down on South Beach, but I don't think I ever wore any of those types of shoes. So, I'm sure they look great on those guys. That's for sure.
They did, and you couldn't wear socks. You couldn't wear socks. No socks.
No. That would have been totally uncool. Hey, Reese, thank you. If you're heading into Hartford right
now,
91,
thank
you got
you.
delays 33 down to 32 A and B, and again 27 to 28 Northbound 91, good ride, Cromwell through downtown up in Windsor. Westbound 84, tied up just after 56 Governor Street to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound delays about a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. Route 2 eastbound's a little heavy coming off of I-84 out to exit 5A. Route 2 westbound, an accident in the area of exit 5D has you backed up to exit 8. Also some slow traffic 3 northbound as you try to transition to Route 2 eastbound in that area. If you're traveling into Middletown, 9 northbound, slowing Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. Waterbury, not too bad, just a little slowdown between 26 and 25. Again, some loss of speed westbound 84, 22 into the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound in Newtown, slowing up from 9 up to exit 11. Southbound Parkway delays from 62 down to 60. 95 southbound heavy 48 down to 44. New Haven, and 91 southbound delays from 3 in toward the 95 interchange. And look out for an accident now in Norwich. And this is 395 northbound up by exit 13A. We have an accident there. Delays back to exit 9 in Montville behind that. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
It's been a beautiful day as we head through the evening and overnight. Another great night for sleeping, chilly almost, with the low down to 49 tonight. A beautiful day on tap for Wednesday with sunshine, a high up to 81. Very light breeze out of the south. Thursday, mostly sunny, another nice day with the high of 79. Pleasant on Friday with a mix of sun and clouds, the high of 78. Then we get some rain returning as we head into the weekend, of course. Mostly cloudy with rain at times Saturday afternoon, the high 74. Maybe a little rain or drizzle in the morning on Sunday. Otherwise, a cloudy day with a high of 72. Right now, New London at 68, Mansfield at 72, at 73 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
At the Carter Mario Law Firm, we've recovered over $1 billion for injured people. When you need someone to fight for you, you need to get Carter in your corner. Visit getcarter.com or call us at 877-GET-CARTER.
Men, when addressing the problem of erectile dysfunction, you want the right treatment for your specific medical situation because every case is different, and finding the right treatment can mean the difference between just an okay experience and an amazing one. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and at our practices, we offer the full range of ED treatment protocols and can even combine therapies to help make those intimate moments special, both for you and your partner. At Northeast Men's Health, we're the leader in treating ED in the area. Our medical providers specialize in men's sexual health and understand that no two cases are alike, which means you'll get the right treatment for you based on sound medical evaluation and appropriate applications of medical therapies. Plus, we offer treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most men, you'll get your sex life back. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices in the Northeast to serve you.
It's time to clear the shelters. Since we started 10 years ago, NBC, Telemundo, and you have helped over 1 million pets find their forever families. Let's make our 10th year the biggest yet. Are you ready to find your new best friend? If you want to help but can't adopt, your donations can go a long way. Adopt or donate today. For more information, head to nbcconnecticut.com/cleartheshelters. Brought to you in part by WTIC News Talk 1080.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you...
45 seconds.
Thank you, sir.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
We know you're on Facebook, so we might as well be Facebook friends. Connect with WTIC News Talk 1080.
I used to work in the same building with this one. They're nice kids. They're nice enough kids. Diggable Planets. I missed that. I can tell you a long story. I'm not going to get into it. Anyway, it's Reese on the Radio, NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. I feel like I have stories for days in the music business.
You can't do that to me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have a story to tell you. I don't want to get distracted. Okay, fine. I'll tell you. All right. So here's the deal. I'm going to tell the story because now Joey's made me have to tell you this. So blame him. Okay.
That's iconic cassette cover. Yes, I have the cassette.
I know you have the cassette, and I know you love Diggable Planets. But Joey plays the songs that he lets me know exactly what songs he owns and loves, that just by the bumper rotation. So here's the story, and this is crazy, but okay. I can only call this story "What We Do for Love." Okay.
I feel like we need a music bed.
Yeah, no kidding. So let me just say this, okay? So when I started in the entertainment business, as it were, I started on Club MTV, downtown Julie Brown. I was a dancer on MTV. I moved, into Manhattan. I lived in Covenant House.
Please tell me there's video of this.
Yes, there is. There's plenty of video of this. Yes.
Day's been planned.
So I was dancing on Club MTV, and of course, because we were there, everybody was getting jobs to be in music videos. And I got the opportunity of a lifetime. My third music video that I was working on. I won't tell you what the other two is, but let's just say one was a Grammy Award-winning rapper called Young Something. Anyway, Diggable Planets was my first assistant director job. Let's just say, well, I was assistant to the assistant director. And I got this job out of nowhere. Somebody gave it to me, and because of my Club MTV days. And it was Diggable Planets' second video to that song. It's the follow-up to that song. It was a song called Where I'm From. The music video is filmed on 7th Street and Avenue A on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. I got there at the time I was married. My wife was pregnant at the time, my first marriage and our only child. I was pregnant at the time. So she came down to the music set, to the video set, to see me there. This, again, is where the story gets bad. So I'm there. And there's a young lady who's an extra who's going to be, if you watch the music video, it's just a bunch of extras who are lined up on the street as the camera rolls by. A young lady walks up to me and she goes, "Excuse me, I need some help. Where are the extras sitting?" Because it was cold outside. And I directed her to a bus that was sitting there for her to go inside. Well, my wife was there. And she saw how attractive the young lady was, asking me a question, and she broke down and started crying and was upset. "I can't believe there's so many attractive women here. There are so many attractive women here. You're going to get tempted. I don't know if I can deal with you doing this." And she looked at me and she says, "If you love me, you will leave this career and get a regular job and get out of this music business."
Wow.
And I looked her right in the face and I said, "You really want me to quit?" She goes, "You can't be in this. There's going to be temptation every day. And I'm fat and I'm pregnant. And if you love me, you'll leave." And I walked right up to my boss and I said, "I'm sorry, I've got to go." And I walked away.
So you're not in the video?
I'm not in the video. I didn't even work in the video. I didn't even get paid. It was my first job. And I was going to be in the music video business because, of course, it was big. It's 1992? Yeah, about 1991, 92. And music video era at that time, VMAs are huge at that time. And yeah, I walked off, and that was the last time. I ended up getting a job working as a security guard at the Jacob Javits Center.
So video killed the radio star.
Yeah.
You left the video, so now you're on the radio.
Oh my God, that's actually a good point. I guess it's appropriate now. I wonder why I always get a weird feeling when I hear that song. I guess it's appropriate.
I totally would have picked, like, if you said you were in the video, I was like, he's totally one of the guys lined up on the curb when they're doing that alleyway shot.
You know that? Yes, exactly. So if you've ever seen a video Where I'm From, it's just a series of people lined up against the street corners on 7th Street, and the camera's panning by, and it has members of Diggable Planets inside the group, inside the line of people singing the song. So they're all walking like they're going into the online for something. So yeah, that was the whole theory. And it is cold out there because it was filmed in, I think it was February or something like that. It was very, very cold that day. But yeah, in New York City. But that was how I left the music industry and got a regular job.
And now you're spending your Tuesday night with me.
Yeah. Well, hey, look, I don't mind. I was like, this is, This was predestined. In my view, this is where I was supposed to be.
I'm excited I can bring you back to these memories.
Oh, yeah.
It might not be happy memories every day, but I'm bringing you back vicariously through the
like I said, I have a lot of people. It's funny, I get this all the time. It's like, wow, my wife just said this last night. You have a lot of stories. And I'm going, you haven't heard the last of them.
Well, I mean, everyone's got stories. It's just a lot of people are afraid to tell them for some
I
reason.
know, but some of them you don't always end up being the hero, right? You end up being the schlub at the end of it. So
But there's still a lesson to be learned.
That's true. And I wish people, listen, you have no idea. When we get around, I've got a Halloween story that you're going to love. That I tell these, it's called The Greatest Halloween Story Ever, and I end up looking like a complete jerk. It's a great story anyway. Some people have heard it here on WTIC, but I'll tell it again because I'm sure the audience has grown since. But thank you for making me rehash that because it brings back memories, but every time I see the Diggable Planets, like they're on concert they're on tour right now. Every time I see them, I'm brought back to that one moment where I quit the music industry, and it's heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking, but whatever. Back to let's go to Rick and I haven't talked to him in a while. Let's talk to Rick in Cheshire. Hello, Rick. How are you doing? You on Reese On The Radio?
Hey, bud. Good to talk to you. A little bit off topic, but I haven't talked to you in a while. But maybe you can help me out. So I'm not an expert at Middle Eastern affairs, but who is the president of Palestine?
Great question. Mahmoud Abbas.
Do we know who that is, or do they have a prime minister?
Nope. Mahmoud Abbas, who's the head of, I guess he's the head of Hamas. So in essence, he is the de facto leader of Palestine.
And how did he come to power?
I'm going to go with murder and plunging.
Well, weren't the people of Palestine?
They did vote, yes. They overwhelmingly voted for him to be, for Hamas to be the leader or the political leader of Palestine. And I think the vote was a good, 60 to 70% to 40 or 60% to 35, something like that.
Right. So and then to maybe jump a little bit in a parallel. So when Mussolini came to power, he was voted in by the people of Italy, correct?
Indeed.
And then when he started acting unfavorable to most of the people of Italy towards the end of his life,
they took care of him.
Italy took care of him, right?
That's right. They gave him the old Caesar.
And the rest of the world weren't crying over dead Italian citizens during World War II, were they? They wanted the war to end, and they held him responsible. Also, the people in the quote-unquote collateral damage of the citizens of Italy.
Right.
So are the people of Palestine ever going to rise up against Hamas?
Never. Because in fact,
Never,
I think,
ever.
And I think the part that you're not saying out loud is because what we know about the people of Palestine is that this is what they've elected in a free election in 2005, right? This was what they wanted. So, when you ask, and then that's the thing, because you keep saying to these people, the people who are screaming and hollering about Palestinians and about innocent Palestinians, you say to them, look, they voted for this government, this terrorist regime of their government. They voted it in power, and they support them overwhelmingly. And they go, well, yeah, but they were forced to support them. I'm like, no, they weren't. These people actively believe that these people should represent them politically, and they believe wholeheartedly in their tactics to take over and return, Palestine to its rightful owner in their own view. Right? Are there some moderates? Sure they are, but they are not overwhelming in the region. You're 100% right. And as I said yesterday when we got the phone call about this, about what's happening in Rafah, one thing is evident when it comes to Benjamin Netanyahu. And I will say this, and I'm so glad that I read the reports today from CBS News that he said he's not going to take any lectures from anyone on this subject. Of course, Netanyahu does not want innocents to be killed. Of course, he wants the hostages to be let go. However, that is not because of him. That is because of nothing more than Hamas, Hezbollah, and Iran, the reason why those hostages have not been freed. And this administration, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, who have been telling him and pushing against him to go into Rafah, where their military leaders are strong-held and where most of we believe the hostages are, by telling Benjamin Netanyahu not to get an offensive in Rafah has been nothing more than holding Benjamin Netanyahu to a standstill where he ends up looking like the guy who's incompetent when indeed he knows what he has to do, and that is to eradicate an enemy that will never stop killing Jews. That's it.
Right. Exactly. So, but what's worrying me now is now with the thousands upon thousands of people in Tel Aviv, the Israeli people knowing and seeing that the world is not behind them.
Mm-hmm.
Because here's the they want the hostages back, understandably so. The people of Israel understand this, but they know the world's not coming to their aid.
Exactly. Because in fact, if you look at the UN, if you look at the UN, the overwhelming support at the UN is for Hamas and Hezbollah. It's not for Israel at all.
So the practical people of Israel are like, look, this is never going to end. I guess we're not going to get what we need out of this. Let's just come to a ceasefire, which is not going to be beneficial to them at all.
At all.
Not holding the people, the leadership of Hamas responsible at all. Not getting rid of Hamas. They just want to stop everything now. Give us them back, because at the end of the day, they know that Hamas is. You're not supposed to, back in the day when it was not to negotiate with madmen hostage keepers, giving them what they want. They're being practical by saying, listen, this needs to stop at our own peril, because we know that we didn't do anything really that much to stop this from happening again.
Here's something to consider, Rick, and I think that anyone who has an issue with what Benjamin Netanyahu or what the IDF is doing in Rafah, let me just ask anybody this one question. Let's say a ceasefire happens tomorrow. Let's say it happens tonight. Who do you believe will honor the ceasefire 100%, and who will honor it half that? Who do you think it'll be?
Israel.
Exactly. Israel will honor it. Yeah. They will honor it 100%, but Hamas will do nothing more but refortify. They will get more weapons. They will strategically plan to attack at any given moment. If you give them an inch, they will take a mile, because guess what? They've already said that. What's their mantra? What is their mandate as Hamas? To eradicate every Jew. Exactly. Every single Jew in the world. That's not something Hamas wishes to moderate. That is something you know what? We're going to take a break from eradicating every Jew on the planet. That's what they do. Israel will say, okay, we'll have a ceasefire. According to Hamas, it was like, yeah, we'll take a break from now, but we're still coming for you. It may not be today. It may not be tomorrow. It may not be a year from now. But for the rest of our lives, we are there to hunt you down and to kill you. And in my view, as far as Benjamin Netanyahu is concerned, I would stop capitulating to a bunch of people who don't have their interest at heart, and I would eradicate them. And guess what? If they're going to call me names, and guess what? If I'm going to be removed from power, fine, remove me from power. But remove me after I kill every one of those sons of bitches. Sorry, my language. I apologize. Sorry. I shouldn't. You got to dump me. I'm sorry. I got you. You got to get rid of every one of them. Every one of them, because that's their. Listen, you can't meet your enemy with a slap in the face when they got a gun to your head. Okay? You cannot fight your enemy in that way. You just can't do it.
And understandable. And then, and to the Americans that are weak in the stomach about, people losing their lives and innocent people over there, we wanted our pound of flesh back after 9/11. And not nobody, but plenty of Americans turned a blind eye to what was happening and how many innocent people were dying for that. So when it happened to us, we go full force, and you're so proud to go and fight and go invade a country that had nothing to even do with it.
Yeah.
But yet now you're squeamish about what's happening to the people of Palestine.
Yeah, exactly.
You want it to happen.
Thank you, Eric.
It's a mess.
It is a mess. Absolutely. Thank you, Rick. I appreciate you, sir. Let me take a break. I got to go cool off. I'm sorry. I get very heated about this whole thing. Let's get into the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. I'm sweating now, Mark. I'm sweating.
I know you are. I can hear the perspiration dripping down your right down your face onto the microphone.
Sorry.
That's okay. If you're heading into Hartford,
you're clear.
Look for some delays up in Windsor, 37 to 35 again.
I'm so
down to 32.
I've had worse with Shattuck.
Oh, man.
Hartford Weather Shield line. Northbound 91, no problems. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is tight up. Approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound slowing about a half mile before 46 Avenue down to the Bulkley Bridge. 2 eastbound is tight from I-84 out to exit 5A. If you are traveling Route 2 westbound, look out for an accident near exit 5D in Glastonbury. Delays back to exit 8 behind that. 3 northbound delays from the Glastonbury exit up to the Route 2 East ramp. If you are traveling 9 northbound in Middletown, you've got delays approaching Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 westbound Waterbury slowing 23 into the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound Danbury tight by 3. Again, 84 eastbound slowing 10 to 11 in Newtown.
Lori, you're 100% right. No doubt. It's a top 40 ska band.
On the Q Bridge down to 44 in New Haven, and 91 southbound delays from 6 down in toward the 95 interchange in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC. Well, the rest of today, sunny and nice, a gorgeous late summer day, the high of 76. Clear skies tonight, comfy temps. It'll be cool, that low down to 50. Another beautiful day for Wednesday, sunny and pleasant, the high of 80 with a light breeze out of the south. Thursday, mostly sunny and nice, but wet and cooler weather returns over the weekend, so enjoy this late summer weather we've got going on. Thursday, the high of 77. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
74 degrees, 5:30. I'm John Silva. The search is continuing this afternoon for 2 missing people who were aboard a boat that crashed into a jetty at the mouth of the Connecticut River Monday night in Old Saybrook. 1 person died. Encon police say the boat was returning from Block Island. Southington police say a missing 11-year-old has been found. Cody Schlau was reported missing initially on Monday, and a silver alert was released. Police earlier this afternoon said that Cody was found on a walking trail in Cheshire. He is okay and has been reunited with his family. In Ansonia, police say there's been an arrest in a suspected shooting incident from over the weekend. They received a report of shots fired Saturday at 4th and North Main Streets. No injuries were reported, but Bridgeport police did locate a vehicle with 3 suspects and a handgun, and additional arrests are expected. Norwich Archbishop Michael Cote is stepping down. Cote has reached the mandatory retirement age of 75. Pope Francis has accepted his resignation, and Hartford Archbishop Christopher Coyne will assume the role of apostolic administrator until Bishop Cote's successor takes over. Later this week, there will be a candlelight vigil for a Hartford police officer who died in the line of duty nearly a year ago. HPD will hold the candlelight vigil Friday evening for Detective Bobby Garton. It was September 6th of last year. Detective Garton died after the police cruiser he was in with his partner was struck by the driver of a vehicle fleeing a traffic stop. That vigil takes place at 7 at the Hartford Public Safety Complex on High Street. On Wall Street, the Dow lost a lot, 626 points. NASDAQ did likewise, 577, and the S&P was off 119 points. Red Sox baseball after the 6 o'clock news, 6:10 actually, the pregame between the prior to the Sox and the Mets at Citi Field. Yankees continue their 3-game trek in Texas. Eastern League, Altoona takes on the Yard Goats of Duncan, 7:10 on the Odyssey app. And in the WNBA, the Connecticut Sun host the Seattle Storm at the casino. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Tax relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Warning.
1 minute.
ZipRecruiter
Thank
radio
you.
spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Evans in Barkhamstead, right?
ZipRecruiter.com/free.
What's up?
Barkhamstead?
Alexa,
It's your new radio.
play double
You got Adam.
1080.
Oh, Adam. Okay, no, I said Evan in Barkhamstead. That's why I wasn't sure.
Oh, he dropped, yeah.
Oh, okay. Hey now.
You can just relax, Reese. Listen to the sounds of PM Dawn.
Oh, come on. Now, that was talk about a whammy. I thought that's the original beat, of course, from Paid in Full by Eric B. and Rakim. And then you put on Set Adrift of to Memory Bliss with PM Dawn.
Just relax, Reese. Let the soothing tones.
Let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. No song takes credibility away from Spandau Ballet than this record. Do you understand that? Like, this is the kind of record, it's just so true. That you have a record like this, Set Adrift of Memory Bliss, I think it's called. I never remember the exact title. But when I heard this song, the first thing I said to myself was, Spandau Ballet, you sell out. I'm like, who does that?
They did.
Yeah, they did. I guess, it's, I don't know, it's just an absolutely,
The 90s were a weird time for music.
It was a weird time. It was a weird time. Gosh.
I was talking to one of the neighbors up the street, and she's got a younger kid's like Generation Alpha, whatever. And he's like, Sigma this, Sigma this. Mom's like, speak English. I'm like, Jazz, we grew up with Pauly Shore.
Yeah. No kidding.
And Beavis and Butthead. You kidding me?
Cornholio
still gets sent in my house daily.
It's funny. I love ragging on these kids, whatever their language is. And I say to them, look, you have to understand it. You're not the first to do it. You won't be the last. And you're going to be in my shoes one day looking at your kids going, your kids are probably going to say eep, op, ork, and you're going to look at them. And only my generation knows what that means, but yours will bring it back. I promise.
Yeah.
It's a sad day.
Everything has its cycle. It's scary.
I'll never forget in the 90s when they brought back bell bottoms. I was freaking out. I went, why?
I saw something on TikTok the other day. Someone's trying to bring back Genco jeans.
Are they really Genco?
Yeah. Yep.
Like JNCO?
Yeah, where each leg can fit like your entire group with. Yeah.
It's oh my goodness.
Those are,
weren't those skateboard pants?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Bring back some shell toes and I'll be happy.
Okay, well, first of all, those things are the worst things ever for your feet.
Oh, God, yeah, your feet sweat. It was horrible.
I remember I tell this story all the time. The first time I ever bought a pair of shell toe Adidas was when I was 35 years old, and the guy says, oh, you got the new shell toes. And I went, yeah, they brought them back. And he says, do you like them? And I went, my feet are killing me.
Oh, the most uncomfortable thing known to man.
They're not even designed for walking.
I got a pair a while back. They're too small for me, and I refuse to throw them away.
I have a pair of ones that are designed for the Jets in my closet.
Half it's black, half it's white.
Oh, you do? Oh, okay, cool. But I love them. Don't get me wrong. I love the design. I love the way that they look. But now I just keep them on a shelf so I can look at them. Yeah. Oh, I just figured out what the sneakerheads do. It just dawned on me. That's why they do it.
That's why we do
It's weird. All right, let's go to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Mark, you're not a sneaker guy, are you?
I got 3 or 4 pair, but nothing crazy.
Okay, you don't buy them like any design. You just buy. What's your favorite brand if you have one?
Mark's at the point now. We all just buy New Balance.
Oh, New Balance! I knew you were going to say that. Are you a New Balance guy?
No. What am I wearing now? ASIC.
Okay, ASIC.
Is my brand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, oh man, that means you don't go jogging.
No, I walk. I
Yeah,
just walk.
that's what I thought.
I don't
Everyone,
jog anymore.
Asics are a brand that's supposed to be for jogging, but no one jogs in them.
No.
It's weird. They're just
That's too
walking
much
shoe.
work. Yeah, I just walk.
By the way, you do know when it's over.
Reasonable man.
Do you know when it's over?
There's nothing wrong with you little monsters that can't be cured by a quick return to the days of corporal punishment.
Of course he had to play cornholio. You know when it's over, by the way, is when it's Skechers. Then it's over.
Then
It's over, yeah.
It's a wrap, especially if it's
Given up.
Skechers slip-on.
You've given up.
They're looking kind of nice, though. I'm not going to lie. Howie Long sells them well.
I need TV for my bunghole.
All right, I'm done with you.
I'm going to put my Skechers on, and let's get rolling here. If you're heading into Hartford,
You're clear.
Thank you.
Brought to you by Connecticut Mattress, and on the eastbound side of 84, you've got delays.
I saw a set of cornhole boards online, and someone designed them with Beavis and Butthead, and they're their cornholio boards.
That's great.
I'm like, now I know what I must do this winter.
Down to 28. Northbound 91's all right. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. If you're too westbound, a little tight.
I was mentioning that one day to Morgan. I'm like, oh, sorry, you're probably way too sophisticated for Beavis and Butthead.
The Aragoni Bridge. 84 westbound Waterbury slowing 23 into the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound Danbury tight 3 to 5. Again, 84 eastbound slowing 10 to 11 in Newtown. Southbound on the Parkway, you've got delays from 62 down to 60 in Hamden. 91 southbound New Haven slows 4 in toward the 95 interchange, and 95 southbound heavy in New Haven. Q Bridge down to exit 44. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
Sponsored by Connecticut Mattress, whose Labor Day sale is going on now.
Hi, it's Michael.
And Christine.
From Connecticut Mattress.
Temperatures are cooling, but the savings are still hot.
During the Labor Day sale, you can save up to $1,200 on Beauty Rest and iComfort Eco.
Plus, get an instant rebate up to $500.
Sleep better?
Feel better.
With Connecticut Mattress.
WTIC weather.
All right, it's going to be a nice night for sleeping for us under clear skies, almost bordering on chilly with the low down to 49. A beautiful day for our Wednesday coming up. Great day to be outdoors. If you're going to be, make sure you use that sunscreen, the high of 81. Mostly sunny, another gorgeous late summer day Thursday, the high 79. Pleasant with a mix of sun and clouds Friday, the high of 78. Then heading into the weekend, mostly cloudy Saturday. We'll have some rain at times during the afternoon and periods of rain Saturday night. The high during the day, 74. Sunday, chance for a bit of rain or drizzle in the morning. Otherwise, a cloudy day with a high of 72. Right now, Granby at 75, Bristol 74, Hartford 73. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Start your day with all the latest sports information. Matt Soroyce has updates from the Cordell and Cordell Sports Desk at 15 and 45 past every hour. Only on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Don't just live with foot pain. Find the Good Feet store nearest you at goodfeet.com.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first-time Nana moments.
Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments. Your can't-miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease...
Hey, just be happy I haven't played some Snow Informer yet.
And there are no prescription RSV treatments.
Now you're going crazy.
Did you ever see the skit that Jim Carrey did about that?
Oh, my God, it's my favorite.
The best.
By Pfizer.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not.
I remember there used to be in Bristol, the bowling alley they used to do back in the day. It was called Galaxy Bowl.
Uh-huh.
It was 11 p.m. to 2 a.m.
Wow.
It was $10 all you can bowl.
Learn about
Holy moly.
Me and my cousin used to go all the time. Now it's a thing like we'd watch In Living Color
and
then go bowling.
Retirement.org.
Oh,
for
my
free
God. What was it?
resources
If
to
Jim
help you
Carrey's was it
customize your
Imposter, right? I think it was called.
Retirement.
Yep. And he had Fire Marshal Bill.
Yeah.
And the
But
ad
the
council.
greatest part about
is a
that is when he
commercial
gets
for
surrounded by the
California
Jamaicans at the end.
Trusted psychic network.
You would
So,
hit a
if
man
you're
with
waiting for a
glasses on,
sign,
would you?
This is it. No, really. This is it. You won't see your soulmate's face in the clouds or your career path map.
Play some Eenie Kamosi.
Oh, no
really
doubt.
Is. We could add some dramatic sound effects if you'd like. So what you waiting for? Experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
Most goals have a clear course, like planning a trip. But when it comes to losing 40 or 50 pounds, that's a different story. Except with Awaken 180, a clear course to fast, proven weight loss with free support for life. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Crappy radio signal? Then listen to WTIC on the free Odyssey app.
And we're back. It's Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. Phone calls coming in. And I was going to play this. Might as well play the clip now. Let me just get it out of the way because I've teased it so often. Chris Murphy, ladies and gentlemen.
Immigrants commit crimes in this country at a rate lower than natural-born citizens. You may not believe that if you watch Fox News every night, but I hate to tell you, it is the truth. So if you want a safe town or a safe neighborhood, you're better off. You are statistically safer if you have immigrants.
Yeah, just get rid of the people who have been living there all their lives and just bring in the immigrants. Let me just tell you this story. It's in the New York Post. Again, the most laughable thing. And again, this was in May when Chris Murphy said this in Washington. Headline, migrants flooding New York City's justice system, making up 75% of arrests midtown. As pathetic sanctuary city laws handcuff cops. They even went so far as to check some of them borough by borough. 60% of the crimes happening in Queens are by migrants. Okay, so this nonsense that, it's safer for you if you bring more migrants into your city as some sort of idea that that's going to make your town safer. Obviously, statistically, that turns out to be untrue. Someone needs to ask old Chris Murphy, when he's walking around every 4th of July from neighborhood to neighborhood, whether or not they feel safer. They should be able to tell them, I feel safer now. Yeah, just yesterday, somebody grabbed my wife's purse while they were on a moped, wielding a machete. Lunatic. To the phones we go, 860-522-WTIC. Let's go to Adam in East Hartford. Hey, Adam.
Please, how are you again? And there were some crazy drivers on the road yesterday. I was with my brother, and we went from Enfield, where he lives, up to Chicopee, and on our way back, the woman is getting on the highway, no directional. She had a newer Nissan, and bad enough, no directional, but she goes from the far right lane to the center lane without even checking. She just pushed us out of our lane.
Wow. They were crazy out there. I didn't hear a lot of reports about accidents or even DUIs over the weekend. I know there were some crashes, but we didn't hear you know what I mean? Like usually there's a large amount of stories that are saying that the weekend was pretty rough on travelers and accidents, stuff like that. We didn't really get that this time around. I wonder why.
I think there was one fatality and 30 drunks, I think.
Yeah, that's it's a lot, but if it's for the entire state, sadly, that's actually lower. That's lower than average.
Yeah, and then we were at this farm in South Hadley because we checked out the property, and my grandparents sold the trail on my grandparents' old property. They're late. They're deceased now, a long time ago.
Right.
But we were at the farm where you get some ice cream, and a woman with a big SUV, instead of just looking to see if anybody's coming, because I'm going less than 10 miles an hour down the little pathway, she floors it. She floors it out of her little parking spot.
And she's in a big SUV. I never understood that. It's funny. My wife talks about that all the time. She says that it's a very weird thing. It's like small people in large vehicles. That's a thing. I guess it's to make people feel powerful. I always found that pretty odd.
The only thing the jackass woman wasn't thinking about there could have been some kids.
Yeah, exactly. And people are in their own space, man. Thank you, Adam. I appreciate it. Let's go to Betty, who's in West Hartford. Hello, Betty.
Yeah, I think you're funny. How'd you know it was Betty? Anyway, I am a
small person in a big car.
You do? What kind of SUV do you drive?
No, I had to give my 2002, and all the wonderful mechanics know who I am. And
Okay.
the 2005 standard shift.
Oh, okay.
And now I'm driving a Ford.
Okay.
A Lincoln Continental 2015.
Ooh.
And she's all computerized, and she's reading my temperature and all that neat stuff. That's good.
That's a town car,
yeah.
isn't it?
What?
Is it a town car, the Lincoln Continental?
Well, she smiles at me, and I told her she's got to be a truck.
What's going on,
But anyway,
Betty?
Well, here's the thing. You owe me a T-shirt. You really don't. I don't have an email because I'm trying to keep under the radar, but my car is letting everyone know who I am. So that's
Okay.
really bad.
Well, all you have
So
to
I
do,
want your
here's how you
T-shirt.
do it. Here's a good way to do it. I'm going to put you on hold if you want to. You can give Joey give Joey your address. And I will let him know exactly what the size is, and I'll work it out for you.
Thank you. And you are so, we love you. We really do. And keep the faith. You make us laugh.
Thank you.
In this serious, horrible stuff. And you should write a book about all your stories because your stories are so beautiful. And your first wife, that could have been me. I don't understand. Can I say to you, can you be a woman?
You know what? It was an interesting thing. It was an interesting time in my life. And you know what? At that moment, I was captured in a moment that said, do you really want to prove that you love her? She's carrying your child.
You did the right thing.
I did, right?
You get
See?
a lot of calls from other people. I think at that moment in time,
yep,
with your first wife and all the other wives, I think, he loves you in so many ways.
Yes.
But that first wife, and I'm Catholic, by the way, okay, that first wife who was carrying your first child said, oh, please. And you did that for her.
Yep. Gave it up for a security job. But can I tell you, I'll tell you the background because Joe is on hold, and I'm going to get to him in a second. But let me tell you the crazy part about that. Here's where it gets even crazier. So I told you I quit that job, and my first job was as a security guard afterwards at the Jacob Javits Center. My first big job at the Jacob Javits Center was for the auto show. And everybody, every city has one. And I was at the Javits Center for the auto show. They stationed me in the back of the Javits Center. To my right was none other than my favorite radio station growing up as a kid, Z100. They had a booth right there. And they had Mr. Leonard's green Pinto, and they gave me tickets to go see George. I got friendly with the staff over there at Z100. They gave me tickets to go see George Carlin in concert, and it's the famous George Carlin comic show on HBO that everyone shares online. I was there live, and that was and the fact that I would end up right next door to a radio station that I grew up with. Turns out to be the radio station that inspired me when I was 15 years old to get into radio in the first place.
Look at that.
So I always feel like everything about that was literally designed. There are no such thing as coincidences where I come from.
Your path is unbelievable.
Thank you.
And it's awesome. And you're a chuckle. I sent a wonderful friend who loves you, who's out of state. I said, he's on the radio now. So we'd love to know when you're on the radio, and God bless your wonderful wife who said no more baloney. In your honor and her honor, I bought baloney.
Thank you so much, Betty. I appreciate you.
All right. Keep the faith, okay?
Thank you. I will. Let's go to Joe Wall Street in New Hampshire. So the crash, it's not a great crash, but it's a considerable one. You think it's going to get worse throughout the week, or do you think there's going to be a recovery?
It's going to be worse for the week. The numbers for Wednesday, I think, is housing, but the big one Friday is the jobs report for the month of August.
Okay.
The price action today, when I spoke to you earlier, only got worse. Now, the hedge funds, and I watched the volume, around 5 minutes to 4 minutes before, the hedge fund money came pouring in, and the S&P went from a negative 131 to a negative 119 in a matter of like 3 minutes. And it was all hedge fund money. It wasn't people like me or you buying 200 shares or 1,000 shares. It was huge volumes. And the SPY, the S&P, because that spreads the money out over all the 500 companies, equally. So it's just like 2008 as far as the pattern. Today was a little over 2% down. I believe in 2008, that day after Labor Day was more like 4.5%. But I mean, it went down like 45% after
Yeah, it was,
September,
according to this, roughly at about 346, we saw a considerable. We were at 4808. It shot up just a little bit, but I think the closing percentage was 1.51% with 626 points down was where we were at closing. So that's still considerable.
By the Dow.
I'm going by the Dow, yes.
Yeah, I'm going by the S&P because that's all the 401ks are tied into.
Yeah, that was 2.3%.
But the manufacturing report that came out early today that really got the thing going, because Asia and Europe yesterday, when I talked to you yesterday, they were just marginally down. The Dow was like 30 points down, and the S&P was down 4 or 5. And, it was negative, but hardly negative. But it was that report that came out on manufacturing. Here's the key. Manufacturing, 5 months in a row now below 50 points, the 550.0 metrics. Now, if you have 3 months in a row below 50, you're officially in a recession, and how deep it goes is a matter of, what happens going forward. We've passed the 3 months. Now we're 5 months, and there's no reason for it to turn around for the month of September. It's only going to deepen. And then we're going into the election. It's a perfect storm for Trump to take advantage of, just like Obama won because of the crash of 2008. I'm not going to say it's a crash by November, but, I mean, it's going to get pretty bad the rest of this month and October as well. And then external factors feed into it. So my advice to people is I hope you got out before 4 today. But if you're with Schwab, Charles Schwab, or, the companies that do aftermarket trading up till 8 o'clock this evening, there's still a chance to buy, or you can sell, your stocks. And if you're going to be in the green for, when you cost basis. But,
NASDAQ didn't do well either, did it?
Well, no, that usually takes a worse hit in a sell-off, the numbers and the percentages. But what I would advise, like I did a month ago, buy the UVIX. Now, I originally gotten into that, over a month ago, around 620. I got out at 1970, the Monday, that it crashed, 4 weeks ago. And I took my profits, and I almost got back in when it went back down to 6. But I said, you know what, I'm going to wait. And I'm glad I did. It went down to a new 52-week low, just above 4, because the market, was coming back in August. But I saw the signs last week. I got back in at 440. Now today, it got as high as 590 something.
Yeah.
I think it closed around 560. But that's still cheap. Because you got to remember, when I got in at 620, it got up to 1990 in 2 sessions, and we had that huge sell-off. If you look at the 52-week high for the UVIX, it's 45. That was 1 year ago. Back in September of last year, it was at 45. And I believe this time it will take that out and go much, much higher. It could go to 100, 120, depending on how much the market goes down in the next several weeks.
What do you think?
It's just the velocity of the market. It's not a company. It's the velocity of the market.
So do you think you're trending down in anticipation for the Friday numbers?
That, and Wednesday there's going to be some housing numbers, which is going to be
that's right. Yeah.
And then there's another sidebar. Everybody's anticipating this interest rate cut in 2 weeks. The Fed meets. Yeah, there's going to be a cut. Everybody was, a quarter point's already factored into the market even today. Half a point was about 70% factored in last week. There's talk today. It could be by Joe point because they know things we haven't found out yet.
Joe, I got to cut you off, unfortunately, because I got to close out the show. But no, I appreciate it. But we'll of course we'll check out tomorrow. We'll see exactly what those reports are. But I always thank you, man, because I love his information. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your mind. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the radio. He is Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Good night, Mark. I will see you here tomorrow.
Absolutely, Reese. Have a great night. And if you're heading into Hartford right now, this traffic.
All right, sir. Have a good one.
Thank you, and thank you. A wonderful 2 days, man. I love you when you when you're at the board, man.
No problem.
We have a blast.
I enjoy it.
Thank you so much, man.
And again, 27 to 28. Northbound 91 moving well. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is tied up just after 56 Governor Street to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound, you got slow traffic approaching Port.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you as usual. Thank you, Mike. You guys will check it out tomorrow. Of course, same bad time, same bad channel. And I hope you had a blast, and you guys be good to each other. All right?